Yep.
Pre-show banter. How is the weather, folks? Sports ball, am I right?
Oh man, did you
It's
see
a bit cold.
It's
Did-
all about the yardage, guys.
did you see that one game where they did the thing with the ball and made the points numbers go up?
Oh
No.
yeah, I saw that one with the points and the ball. Yeah, that was my favorite episode of Sports Ball.
Episode of Sports Ball. Hello, chat. Welcome to the stream. I'm glad you could join us.
I just laughed and spilled water all over my computer.
Oh
Cool.
no.
Oh no.
That's what sports has done for my
Clean
life.
it. Clean the sports off your computer.
Give me 1 second.
I'm
while I
using a
close my door.
sweatshirt to do it. The sweatshirt's working well so far.
That's good.
Well, they are called sweat.
Yeah, water is deceptively similar to sweat, so.
However, not as salty.
I mean, unless it's ocean water, then it's quite salty, but I get the point.
Hark, Spark speaks.
A wild spark appears.
Sparkaroo. I'm excited to see what his much less excusable reason is.
As am I.
Go white pooping.
So in my notes, I did title this session Operation Death La Guerta.
Perfect.
Nice.
Speaking of notes, I should bring mine up. Where is that thing? Haha, hello game notes. Let's see what I have for last session. Oh wow, actually like quite a bit.
Do you know what I have for last session?
Oh, hit me.
I need to start taking more notes.
Gotta start somewhere.
Yeah, I probably should start by taking a note. Ever.
Do you have a notebook? That would be a good first step.
No. Maybe.
Notepad on the computer works equally as well. I have that the festival is starting to get lit.
Ooh, that's a good scene setter.
Indeed, if my tracking of the days is correct, you will wake up and it will be the festival.
And thus, everything burned.
For it was too lit. The litness was too much.
It's really a litmus test for
I was just thinking of like there should be a litmus test for how lit something is.
I just edited that one out on my end, guys.
The problem is that once it surpasses the chillness cap, it gets problematic.
My knowledge of
That's
like
hilarious.
science is not good enough to understand that one.
Because then everything just starts catching on fire.
Right.
I gotta get better at alphabetical order, guys. I have way too much trouble finding stuff in books. Do you guys ever catch yourself singing the ABCs when you're like looking for something alphabetically? Or are you well beyond
Constantly.
that point?
Every single day of
Constantly.
my life. Yes.
I used to before I started working in a book warehouse, and alphabetizing became part of my job.
That's ingrained in you now. It's part of your soul.
Yeah, I can just visualize the alphabet now and just know where something is.
I still have trouble every day when I get on the subway of remembering which direction is east and which is west. Like I have to go around the compass every single day.
Oh yeah, I still get east and west confused in my head all the time. Like,
Never eat soggy waffles.
Yeah, well, never eat shredded wheat is the one that I use, but same thing, yeah.
for some reason
Yeah.
in my head, very, very young, I got in my head that east was to the left and west was to the right, which is the opposite of what it is. And, like, even though in my adult brain I know that's not true, anytime, because I live on the East Shore, and for the, like, or I live on the West Shore, and for years and years and years of my life, I thought I was actually, like, much, much further east than what I actually was.
So kind of like you just did there, saying you were on the wrong coast.
Yeah.
Yeah, even when you said that, I was like, never eat shredded wheat. Like, which coast does he mean?
I did the exact same thing.
It's like, what smart ass named them like almost the same word?
Yeah, we're supposed to head west, right?
That SpongeBob episode has stayed with me forever. East? I thought you said west. That's west, Patrick.
They have arrived.
A wild spark appears.
Oh God, Spark, save us from me quoting SpongeBob
I throw a Pokeball.
memes at these poor souls.
Oh no, a wild spark has escaped.
I throw a rock? What is this a Safari Zone? Do I get rocks?
No.
Welcome to the party, Spark.
So do you guys wish to hear? Do you guys wish to hear my fairly unexcusable reason for absence?
I
Oh,
do.
hit me.
Yes.
Always.
You shall be
So-
judged.
So, have you guys ever fallen into the mindset of, oh, one more match, I can knock out one more match?
Yes.
The
Now-
story of my life.
Have you ever done that with a competitive Overwatch match?
Oh no.
Uh-huh. And have you ever done it when they run the full gambit of games?
Yeah.
When it's back and forth? Do you know how long I played the same match?
40 minutes?
It's like maximum time.
Yeah. It was actually almost, I feel like it was an hour, but I'm not sure because I literally had a moment. It's like, I looked down at the clock, I was like, I got like 30 minutes. I'm good. And then I turned off my Xbox and I was like, I'm done. I'm done.
You've come out a different man on the other side.
Well, did you win? That is always the most important thing, right?
We did. I haven't been placed yet. I haven't finished my 10.
Oh, then it's worth it.
Yeah. Yep. The game before that, though, we had someone ditch.
Oof.
That sucks.
Mm-hmm. Yep, it happens. Because I don't really have a party to play with, so I just jump in with randos, which is terrible. But
Yeah, that's always rough, especially in the competitive, but
I'm a Zarya main, so I mean I'm help to all.
interesting. Zarya is still like incredibly opaque to me. I have no idea what I'm doing.
Oh, she's so fun once you get the hang of her.
I don't like her very much because you have to constantly aim.
Well, you know what?
I'm-
I don't like you.
I'm good at snap aiming, but not keeping it on them.
Oh, that's when you just spam her like grenades. That's one of her best things. And then when you get up close, just hold down the thing like there's no tomorrow. You think I'm joking, but I'm not. That's really what you do.
Pro Overwatch strats from Spark. I don't know, man. Just hold down the thing when you get close.
That's really the top secret tech in every game.
Have you played with Azaria? Because that's literally what it is.
Yeah,
Just hold down the button.
Truth.
You
And
can
then
be
as soon as it pops up, just pop a shield on the closest friend.
I'll play against people who are new to a game and they just mash buttons and then they just destroy me. And I'm like, wait, but like you're supposed to like do patterns, and they're like, no, I'm just mashing buttons, and they're much better than I am. It's
Do you play fighting games? Because that's literally what that is.
yeah.
It's like, no, I'm trying to do a 3-tier moveset. What are you doing? Oh, just spamming uppercut.
Light punch, light punch, light punch.
Oh, you spent hours sitting in the training session with this one character trying to master how to get the energy blast? I'm just going to keep teleporting and punching you.
Is everyone prepared?
Yes, I'm in the room twice.
Okay, wonderful. We have 2 tinctures. That's good.
Oh yeah, my sheet takes up most of the screen, and I need to see the screen.
Ah, okay, gotcha.
It's overrated.
Everyone else got dranks.
Oh, wait. Oh, 10. Actually, if you open up your character sheet, like click on the journal and then just click on your character sheet, when it opens up, you can double tap or you can double click the name plate up top, and it'll just minimize it.
Oh my god, they're so useful.
Yes, it is. It does that with literally any of the pop-ups. So, like, if you just want to shove a whole bunch of the important ones to the right, it comes in massive handy.
Cool.
And I am just dropping all the pro tips today.
Yeah. So, are we all ready to start?
Good to go. Haven't sat down in a week or two, so I'm ready to kick this off.
Ready for Bastion to experience more horrifying body issues?
God, yes, hit me.
Yes.
97.
I can think of only 3 numbers higher, so good job.
That's one of them.
Holy shit.
Wow.
Nice.
Okay.
What just happened? Wow.
That's been my luck this weekend. Which means my next roll is going to be a 2.
All right, then, my friends, we shall begin. When last we left our heroes, you had just escaped from the Red Cross Saber Tavern, where Jerry had a fateful meeting with his old crime boss, Raymond Gaspari, during which I think Jerry surprised himself and everyone else when he made a tenuous alliance with the old crime boss. If he can get rid of the 5 knives and sort of like restore some weird semblance of order to like the lower life of Valdore, Gaspari has promised that he would like do all he can to make the lives of the common folk better. You had to escape though when the Velvet Guard like totally SWAT teamed the place with, flying wizards and fireballs and a whole squadron of guards. You were able to escape thanks to Gaspari's secret passageways and you contacted your old pal Jack, who gave you a place to lay low in the Windblown Wanderer Inn. It is there that we pick up on the next morning, the morning of the beginning of the Midsummer Festival. Even as you wake in the early morning, the streets are just packed with costumed folk outside your windows, streamers, banners, colors, music, everything one's heart could desire. I imagine this morning brings some interesting conversation between the party, so let's open up on that. Perhaps over breakfast, perhaps still in your rooms. What's going on?
I forgot about this.
Oh, yes. So, I think that unless anyone else wants to do it sooner, Bastion would open it up over breakfast.
Yep. Sybil would already probably be awake and writing fervorously at a table, probably with just something light for breakfast and probably like a glass of juice, maybe? No, she'd probably drink wine. She'd probably drink some sort of wine.
So Bastion would, grab some light breakfast, come sit down at the table, next to her, and, strike up some light conversation until the rest of the party, gets there. Rough day yesterday, how you feeling? How are some of those, bumps working out for you?
Fun fact, I actually didn't get hit at all during all that.
Oh, man.
Oh, correction. I got slapped in the forehead by your broom. That happened. Because that bred
Actually,
into
I
the...
think no one got hit.
Yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't so much a combat as let's get out before combat happens.
That's true.
Yep.
Yeah, so she might have like a bit of a scratch on her cheek or something, but that literally would be from the broom.
But yeah, Bastion would be doing some, or at least trying to do some small talk until the rest of the party showed up.
As soon as she'd see Bastion approaching, she would be like, "Oh!" and then she'd close her journal and stow it away, and then she'd eat with you and take up in the small talk.
I think Jerry would sleep in a little bit, and he'd get up, and before breakfast he'd do some stretches and some exercises. But eventually he'd mosey on down, and he'd sort of sit at the table, sort of with a lot on, like you can tell he's sort of lost in thought, and just sort of silently grab some food, not even making much eye contact.
Ragnar probably would have been a bit behind Bastion. He doesn't sleep very late.
Yeah, Bastion was probably up, kind of earlier than normal because he is. A lot happened yesterday, and he has some questions to ask. But he's trying to soften it up with the aforementioned small talk. And as soon as Jerry gets down, and whatever train of thought our small talk was on wrapped up, Bastion would take a deep breath and be like, "All right, look, Sybil, we don't know a whole heck of a lot about you, and with how everything that went down yesterday and the things that we're probably going to start to get into today, tomorrow, just looking forward, we need to know who has our backs. We'll be willing to, answer whatever questions you have, but we at least need to know, kind of what your combat capabilities are, because we're kind of going in a little blind here."
Well, she'd kind of fully pay attention. She'd listen, and then um, after a minute, like after you finish, she'd probably sit there and she'd push up her glasses. Well, maybe ask some questions. As far as combat capabilities, honestly, I don't really know. I mean, I can make fire, and even like as she's saying it, she's very unsure of it. I can make things kind of pop in and out. Also, I can conjure an invisible friend, sort of.
What do you mean, invisible friend?
Oh, as soon as you ask that, she kind of jumps and she's like, "Oh, well, there's this spell. It's called Unseen Servant. It's actually really useful."
So are you a warlock?
A what?
Warlock. One who gets their powers from demons. Or I suppose there are some other kinds, but mostly demons.
No, not as. No. Should I perhaps roll something for that?
Well, I just want to sort of talk about this for a quick second. I think it's totally plausible that Ragna, with his religious background, knows what warlocks are. But I think it could be possible that Sybil doesn't. So if you want to actually not know, or if you want to like pretend to not know, then
Sybil really doesn't know the word warlock. I'm more talking about the way he presented it when she asked what, and he clarified. I don't, because that's the thing is like, out of game, she's not 110% sure where they came from. She just knows that she can do these things.
Right. So, I mean, like, if Ragna's being like, "Oh, like, you could get your powers from like demons," I mean, how would Sybil respond to that? I guess.
Okay. Oh, heavens no! Oh no, no! I've spent the last 4 years in the Silver Grace Scholarage. It's literally headed by the church. Yeah, demons aren't going to be a thing. Honestly, I've studied the arcanes, or at least arcane-based stuff, most of my life. My father kind of comes in with the whole rare tomes and everything, but honestly, I just woke up and had them one day. So, I mean, maybe the studies helped. And she's very unsure about this. She doesn't. You can get the sense that she probably doesn't know much more not much more about that.
And perhaps a sorcerer.
Well,
I'm gonna just look at Bastion.
Bastion will say, man, has like kind of strange things happened around you from the time you were little, or is it kind of more of a recent thing? Like, because some people, it's kind of, chaotic and it happens out of nowhere until they learn to, hone it down and control it.
Oh, I mean, there was this one time, and she like kind of leans in. She goes, "There was this one time, a naked man ran into the store, and then just looked around and ran out. That was pretty strange."
Bastion will smile and be like, possibly not a sorcerer.
we had a saying at the Abbey, and to study and not think is a waste. To think and not study is dangerous. It seems you're trying to think and to study, which sounds like you're on the right path to finding more about yourself.
Sure. Yeah. At that, she kind of looks. She'll look sideways and just kind of like avoid eye contact when you say that.
Can you make the little person that you seem to be able to command visible?
No, not really. He's an unseen servant after all. I am absolutely gonna have to roll something for that.
Ooh, good deception.
Good roll. I think Bastion would be like, Aaron, can I roll like an Arcana or something to see if I know anything about the Unseen Servant spell?
Sure. I think you've heard of it before, and maybe seen it in action, but
Should I attempt to roll?
Sure.
Also, you guys can insight
5.
you guys can insight PCs. I don't know why.
Yeah, so should we roll insight or use our passive?
As long as you. Oh, sorry.
Oh, no worries. I think like, I think that if you think your character would have suspicions, then your character is allowed to have those suspicions. I think.
At this point, I think Bastion is taking her at her word. He's just trying to, work with her to parse out exactly what's happening.
And I think
I am not good at insight, apparently.
I think Jerry would be doing the same, like taking what she says like at face value, but he would just ask the question, well, unseen doesn't mean unfelt. Where is it right now? Is it in the room with us this second?
Oh, heavens. No. He's not permanent. I can conjure him sometimes, but
Sometimes. Does he come and go of his own volition?
no, it's a spell. It's a spell.
I see you talking to something sometimes. Is this the Unseen Servant?
Oh yeah. Well, surprisingly, I wasn't exactly what you call the most popular of kids, especially being one of the younger ones at the Scholarage. I'm not exactly. I didn't have a lot of friends. So I take what I can get, and I kind of grew up around books, so I have
Do
a
they
vast
speak back?
imagination.
Do they reply?
The unseen servants?
Yes.
Oh no.
Interesting.
And I guess Jerry would just jump in and just say, Sybil, I appreciate what you've done so far. I mean, you've left your shop, you've come with us, and now I can see from your expressions as we were talking to Gaspari, I mean, everything I've seen seems like you're in a little over your head at this point. Are you sure this is something you want to travel with us three, especially as we embark upon what's next?
Nope. And she looks like, she just smiles when she said it. She's like, it is absolutely something I am not sure about, but it is something I want. So, speaking of which, we have stuff to do today, don't we? And she she'll kind of get all giddy.
By the way,
very quick to change the subject. What?
By the way, your fire seemed strange.
What? What do you mean?
Inverted.
Inverted? Oh.
Yes.
I don't know. It's magical, so that might be why. I don't really have.
Jerry will look legitimately confused, and he'll be like, "Sorry, what is Rachna? What's inverted fire?"
She threw a fireball while we were fighting the assassins. It impacted nearly in front of me, and I saw it. It was inverted.
Bastion just has a puzzled look on his face, like he's trying to piece everything together. Like there are parts of his knowledge that aren't like clicking together like they're supposed to.
Looking at her, can you summon another fireball and not throw it?
Excuse me.
Sorry, I was dealing with something real quick. You want me to summon a fireball?
Yes, without throwing it.
I should look around, and we're in a tavern, like sitting at a table, right?
Yes.
Maybe we shouldn't.
Bastion is going to say, give it a try, and he's going to take a couple steps back. But he's going to raise his hand and get ready to counterspell just in case.
Okay, I'm going to just roll a straight out Arcana check to see if she can, like, ignite her hand. So, if,
So,
do you want-
what are the stakes of this? If you roll low, what happens?
if I roll low, it's just gonna be well, actually, you know what? She's gonna cast a dangerous spell if she rolls low.
Okay, cool.
So,
And then if she rolls low, I'll roll an Arcana check. You can decide the DC to see if I can see it going awry before it actually goes off so I can counterspell it.
That sounds good to me.
Perfect.
okay, here we go. Good.
Is that the sound of? Is that the sound of Sybil's magic?
So, well, no, you watch like kind of. It's almost like a monochrome, like flame, start licking up her fingers, and then like it starts looking like it's about to form into the ball, and then it just almost like explodes around her, and it starts to like it almost like looks like it's about to devour her in a way. So it's like it starts at her fingertips and it rolls down her arm out of her fingertips, and like as she closes her hands, it almost like flashes bright white, and it just starts almost twisting around her hand and going up her arm.
What?
So
yeah.
essentially, what's happening is she's about to cast Flame Cloak, or I forget what it's called actually, Fire Shield, at a 4th level spell.
Okay. So as soon as that goes, since I'm expecting you to cast Fireball, with a 25 Arcana, can I tell that she's not casting Fireball, and this is something that's supposed to happen?
Yes. Well, it's supposed to happen. I'm not sure if it's supposed to happen, but you can definitely tell this is not Fireball.
This was not something that was supposed to happen. She was attempting Fireball, and it came out something else.
Sure. Or rather, should I say, can I tell if this is something that's about to get out of control and I need to stop it immediately?
She looks pretty terrified as soon as it like from the moment she already was like looking nervous, and then as soon as it starts off, she's looking really amazed. It's like, oh, I'm actually doing it. And then it just, as soon as it flashes that bright white and the black flames start licking up her arm, that's whenever she goes, oh no, oh no, oh no.
So whether or not it will be actually dangerous, I think, is irrelevant. Sybil seems terrified.
Okay, so as soon as it like starts to like crest up into her upper arm, Bastion is going to cast Counterspell, which actually I believe needs a DC because it is a higher level than what I have. Whoops, that's Fireball. Try again.
No, not that one.
If you cast it at a 3rd level, yeah, it needs to be
Indeed.
DC
10 plus the spell's level, so it's 14.
if you want to cast the counterspell at fourth level, though, that would also suffice. But
I do not have. Do I have fourth level spells? I don't think so.
y'all are level 7, so
I have a 4th level spell slot, so yeah, you should.
I do have a 4th level spell slot. I just don't have any 4th level spells.
uh,
I think expecting a fireball, Bastion would probably have cast it at 3rd level.
this is also fine. Okay, so let's see the Checker-Bruni then.
Let's see. Spell DC is equal to ability check using your spellcasting ability.
So just a charisma check. Ooh, not enough.
Oh God. So guys, seeing as you're all sitting at a table, let me double check. Didn't always be...
Yes. So Fire Shield only affects the attackers. So if no one attacks you, you'll be fine.
Yep. Okay, I was just making sure.
Yeah. I was like, oh shit, is everything gonna be on fire now? But rules is written. It's not.
Yep.
Yeah. So the
Excuse
thin, wispy flames wreathe Sybil's body, undeterred by Bastion's attempt to dispel the magic. And it's maybe a little similar, Bastion, to what you experienced like a week ago out in the fields. She glows with radiance and this sort of like black and white fire.
That's the fire Rayman.
As soon as Bastion's counterspell fails, he's going to throw his cloak up. He's going to like bring his cloak up around his face and take like another like 2 or 3 stumbling steps backwards.
Oh yeah, would that have set your wild magic off since you were standing right there?
I said I was a few steps back, but I rolled a 17 just in case anything was about to throw down.
Okay. And like after this, she just kind of like, it's not a fireball. And she's like, as this is happening, like, is it concentration?
It doesn't say. I don't
Oh
think
God.
I don't think it is.
Oh no, it's just duration, 10 minutes.
Rotten is just gonna shrug. It's fire.
As soon as she like she started catching on, like as soon as like everything like got wreathed around her, she stood up and like kicked the wooden chair away from her just in case. Maybe I don't know if I can stop this.
And just real quick, as you're sort of stumbling back, for freaking out about this situation, the other patrons of the inn, like, they sort of stand up and they start clapping and smiling and like, wonderful trick, wonderful display, and they will throw money at you. You get 8 gold pieces sort of like tossed your way.
Does that count as an attack if it hits?
No.
This is mass murder.
These are not thrown with malice. Yeah. They take it for some like grand festival jape.
No. This is she'll lean over to the party. She's like, how do I put myself out?
Try focusing on ending it.
Okay. That's a vague answer, but all right, I'll do it.
Do you want to make an Arcana check?
Yeah, I'm just gonna do it. It's just a free act. I know that, but it's just to see if she can concentrate enough to.
Yeah.
Hey, good roll.
And like she just kind of like sits there and actually, I don't know how much you guys could probably see. She probably literally just looks like a figure behind a wreath of flames. So like you just watch it as she just kind of straightens her back up, like, and just you watch as it just kind of dies away. Okay, that was more That was more. That was more intense than it was supposed to be. Yeah, no, I don't like that much attention. Why did I agree to do that again?
Shrug.
I think it's just we wanted to see what you could do, and we saw a little what you can do. I feel better that you're able to protect yourself. I don't want to feel like we're bringing somebody that's just gonna get hurt along with us.
Although next time we might not do it in a crowded inn.
Yeah, no, I thought about that when I was on fire. Maybe that wasn't a great idea. Also, was not intentional.
Well, let's see if we can get it. Let's see if we can eventually get it to be intentional.
Well, now that I know how to do it, maybe? I don't know.
It'll be something to work on.
Exactly. Right. Something to work on. And she is very eager to go somewhere else at this point.
Rotna will nod. So, has anyone ever seen flames like that before?
Did they look particularly different from normal flames?
Yeah, instead of like red and orange, they were black and white.
Black, white, silver, like all monochrome color. It's almost like someone literally put the black and white filter or the monochrome filter on everything. Like on flame. Yeah. The blacks were super dark, like ink black, kind of.
Sure.
Is there anything in Jerry's? I guess what I'm asking, if you don't mind me rolling a history check to see if there's anything from sort of the monastery warning about any sort of like black flamed like god or anything like that.
Should I roll religion because religious things?
Yeah, I think both of those sound appropriate.
I am not very good at religion, though.
I'll roll. Oh, I guess yeah. Religion would probably be where Jerry would come from on that one.
20.
Y'all some nosy son of a gun.
Yes, we are.
I think Bastion would just furrow his brow, trying to just like piece together, like puzzle things together in his head.
Jerry has no idea, so he's chill.
I am legitimately
well,
curious.
I don't think it's so much that Jerry has no idea. It's just that like they're, coming from a monastery, you get so many rules and like so many, do not follow this, do not follow that. That I think there's just they probably didn't teach you the specifics, right? They're just don't bother with like 95% of everything. Just focus on this,
Got it.
Whereas Rachna, I feel like you were perhaps, you were sort of more of a cast out of your religious organization, sort of on the underside of things. So you don't remember ever hearing of like a being of power that is known for its, branded monochrome fire. But you've read some dark tomes on people that get their powers from these kinds of bargains, warlocks as they were called. And you sort of know that like typically people make these pacts with like you said, either like demons, devils, sometimes fae lords, or like the horrible beings from beyond the stars are sort of like some of the more typical creatures that pacts are made with. Just the image of the black and white fire doesn't feel particularly fae, nor does it feel particularly like horrible Cthulhu monster. But it's not indicative of like a specific creature.
Also, you can get warlock packs through divine beings too.
This is also true. This has also been heard of.
So, The long and short is no goddamn clue.
Yeah, the specifically like the image of the black and white fire is not like a aha, yes, the black and white fire god. Like there's
Her unknowing of the exactly what she can do, her seeming lack of control, might, and I'll throw this out there because it's pretty obvious at this point. She looks and acts like she's fairly new at all of this, but for being fairly new, and for Bastion not even being able to counterspell, her spells are super powerful.
That's true. That is why Bastion is now standing. What? How big would you say this bar room is, Aaron?
I mean, like in square footage, I honestly have no idea, but it's like sizable.
That's why Bastion is probably standing about a quarter to halfway across this room now.
Did you make any deals beforehand, before receiving these magics?
What do you mean deals?
Something in exchange.
And she'll actually like look like she's thinking.
Can I roll a I don't know, something to kind of piece together my knowledge on, at least my beginning knowledge on warlocks?
Yeah, sure. Arcana, history, or religion, I think is all appropriate. So yeah, Bastion, you have read the treatises by Archidius Grey Mantle on the nature of warlocks and other dark pact makers. You know all the basics. Archidius Greymantle in his treatise was not overly favorable of warlocks, painting them as like piteous creatures who bargain away their souls for, shallow powers.
Okay.
Can you put that book name in the chat, please?
Sure.
So Bastion will, given Elle's hesitancy and kind of unsureness on the whole thing, Bastion is going to like furrow his brow further. It's like any like strong wishes or desires right around the time that these powers were cropping up that might have been taken advantage of.
I mean, no more than normal. I've always wanted to travel, but I'm usually so caught up in my studies and that, yeah, I mean, like I said, I've always wanted to travel and see the world, but I've never really been able to. Not until recently. I'm on holiday from the college for a few years, semesters, I guess would be. They didn't really give me a time limit. They just told me that I should take a break.
And why did they?
Well, you know how I said I was one of the younger ones to get admitted, right? That was a bit of an under-exaggeration. I've actually, and she'll kind of look pretty proud of this. It's actually the youngest to be admitted. And I spent 4 years there. And in those 4 years, some people got a little envious of me. So I was taking notes and talking to myself, reading aloud. And they heard me and reported me. And our librarian, man, I respect very much, asked me to take a break. Suggested I take a break. Basically, told me to take a break from school. And then when I tried to go to the library the next day, told me that I wasn't allowed in the library either. So, yeah.
You know, one of the sometimes when you have a secret, sometimes you're keeping that secret from yourself. It seems like there's some things you might find about yourself out in the world, Sybil.
Yeah. Okay. Honestly, um, so can uh can we talk somewhere more private? And she like starts looking around. She's like, I've there's a little more to this. But maybe not around literally everybody who is now watching me, expecting me to catch on fire again.
Ragnar will nod.
And there is the crowd settled back down after the display, but they are certainly like looking over and like talking about you in excited voices. And as you leave the table, one of them comes up and is like, "Oi, when are you gonna be performing again, lass?"
Uh, um, uh, I'm here. I'm here. Never. It was a spontaneous practicing for the festival. You know, it was. She. Yeah, I gotta go. And she'll literally. She'll stand up. And walk out. Literally, just walk out.
Okay, like out into the street.
Yes.
I'm
She is making
Ragnar shall follow.
She is making a V-line for the stables, which is close by, right?
Yeah, it's like maybe 5 or 6 blocks, but
Yep.
close enough.
Yep. Fast strides, making V-line, not at all stopping.
Okay. Everyone follows.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, I follow. I'll try and put up the hood and be inconspicuous.
Cool.
Bastion is
Ragnar is his shining beacon self.
Less inconspicuous.
Bastion is trying his damnedest to keep Rachna in sight, in arm's reach if possible at all times, but at least in sight so he doesn't get lost in the crowd.
Rachna has a dark black cloak that he can cover himself with.
Not smart, wise.
That seems like a wisdom thing to me.
So normally, on any other day, Rachna might indeed stand out in the crowd in his shining armor, but not today. Not the day of the Midsummer Festival in Valdore, the city of love and stars. Rachna is dressed rather conservatively, to be honest, and in these packed streets. If you've ever seen pictures from Montreal during their summer festivals with the crazy costumes, like people on stilts and stuff.
Oh, it's Carnival.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's like every cosplayer imaginable is out today. There are parades going down the streets, like many of them, all to different stuff. Sybil, as you're going down, you see there's this big traffic jam as 2 different competing parades are trying to go the opposite way down one street, and it's impossible, but everyone's laughing and drinking anyway. There's 1,000 different songs happening at every intersection. There's this waves of laughter that go down. It smells a lot like alcohol even so early in the morning. If you weren't aware that this was a sanctioned festival, it would look like anarchistic chaos. But everyone seems to be cool with it. No one seems to be taking advantage of it. Everyone's into the jovial communal spirit of it.
The city has turned into one big flash mob.
Yeah, that's a great way to describe it.
So, as I said, Sybil's not slowing down, and she knows the city really well. So does Bastion, I'm sure.
yes.
But she is making a beeline for the stables. I'm curious as to whether you guys would get stopped up at all.
Rotna is Rotna. He goes through.
Nothing
Whereas
stops
Rock
Ragnar.
is like pushing us through. I think Jerry would be weaving and dodging his way through effectively with some of his like rogue and monk talents.
Okay. I was just curious because it was one of those things. It's like she's rushing, but she's like going out and seeing all these eccentric colors and everything. She kind of like lightens up. This is much more her forte, not these plain brown like pants that she has on in this the white shorts and the white blouse and the black riding boots or anything. It's very much colorful, and that's her thing.
I absolutely imagine Bastion, while using like Rachna as a battering ram, like he'll like shoulder check someone, knock their like, you know, sandwich out of their hands. Bastion will like catch it, toss it back up to the person, be like, "Sorry, our bad. Please, sorry, are coming through."
That's awesome.
So yeah, she's heading for her carriage. By the way, I figured you had figured that.
Yeah, and it takes maybe 30% longer than usual, but you indeed do finally make it.
Okay.
And also, I just like to give everyone inspiration for everything that's happened so far. It's been great.
I already have inspiration.
I do.
Yeah.
So
In fact, I think I have double inspiration because of the potato ice joke.
that's not a thing. So I assume she gets there a little bit before you guys. So you guys might break the crowd as she's running into the back of the carriage. And that's that.
I will wait.
Did you close the door behind you?
Yes.
Jerry will go up to the door and like knock on the door.
So think a porch door with a glass, like with the one single pane, like one big pane in the door, and it's got a very, very gaudy curtain in front of it. It is like the whole carriage is like this mahogany color, and this is some bright blue curtain. So like as like you knock on the door, you just see like the curtain pushed to the side, and then she cracks the door open. She's like, you guys found me. 1 second, and she'll close the door again.
Bastion is standing like against one of the stable, like leaning up against one of the stable walls. I imagine he like stumbled into the stable, like remembered that the carriage is at least some sort of low-grade magic, and then like walked over to the wall and is now leaning against it just casually.
Rotna is doing basically the same, just leaning against the wall.
So
Jerry's
sorry.
not liking being in the open, so he's just gonna knock again. Like this isn't a good situation for us to just be standing around when there's lizard people with guns that are after us.
So I assume the second one's a little more fervent.
Absolutely.
So Sybil literally, after hearing the second knock, you just hear from inside, probably a little more distant than you were expecting. Give me 1 second. I'm coming. And then as like she opens the door, she kind of like cracks it open just enough for her to back through. And as she's backing through, she turns around and she just thrusts like probably a whole like bunch of colored like cloaks and everything at you guys. Here, blend in. Jeez. all these color, and like as she thrusts them at you, you realize she's changed. Like she's back into like a bright red. She's back in a bright red dress, and probably has her hair like tied up with probably similarly red bands, and has a mask on, like a festival mask. And as she thrusts it at you guys, like she threw like masks and all sorts of stuff at you, basically being like, "Here, it'll make us blend in easier."
Bastion is like, good point, and takes off like the brown gray shoddier cloak over top of his red one off and just shoves it into his bag.
I need all of these back, but here, at least until the festival's over, we can be inconspicuous by being absolutely conspicuous. So, and she'll look around in this, because the stables are closed in, or at least where the carriage is at is closed in, right? I don't assume it's just sitting out in the open.
Yeah, it's certainly got some walls around it.
So, we can talk here at least a little more. The tavern was a little centric on us, you know, the whole fire and stuff.
Yeah, sorry about that. I was getting some tunnel vision and trying to piece things together. You're right, this is better.
Yep. Yes, I know it was a dumb idea. Yeah, no, questions. You guys wanted to ask questions, right?
So you were just talking with your
Oh,
invisible servant?
What? No. No, what? Okay, so, sort of? Yes. Kind of?
They
So-
speak in your head?
Yeah? She just kind of gives like kind of smile, like, so,
And I think Jerry's just like seeing Sybil's like total discomfort in the situation, and
It seems
I think
legitimate.
he's starting to feel some almost like, I don't know if pity or some empathy, I guess is the better word, for like Sybil like being sort of put on the spot here, and I think he's gonna sort of jump in and say, we do have things with Delac Huerta to discuss while we're in private here, and Sybil, thank you for the cloaks. Maybe we take a pause in our interrogation, and it'll smile a little bit and talk about some more pressing matters.
you got as like, unless anyone else is gonna press, like, if I want to know what the rest of the party's reaction to that is first.
Rocknum will nod slightly. He has absolutely no idea how the invisible servant spell works, apparently.
Bastion is going to... His brow is still a little bit furrowed, but he's going to say, "You're right, this is good enough for now." And he's going to say, as long as we can trust you to have our backs when things go down, this'll work.
Yeah. No. Okay. So I'm okay. You'll see her kind of like slump at that for a second, and she'll take a deep breath. Okay, so Bartholomew is he's a little more than an unseen servant. Do you guys know what a familiar is?
Yes, actually, one of our friends had one. He left us recently, but yeah.
Okay, so he's a familiar. He prefers to stay invisible, though. He's more he's more handy that way. Also, it's also how I got this. And she'll turn out like her pack, and essentially she'll just dump out all the cloaks and the masks and the stuff from the lizard men. Also, she'll dump out 9 of those pistols.
Right, no, will nod.
Bastion's jaw will go a little bit slack and be like, alright.
Yeah, no, he kind of does his own thing. He's a little wily, but for the most part, he is an unseen servant of sorts. And she'll just kind of but onto De La Huerta. Yeah, no, maybe though. All right, well. Even though you guys have kind of destroyed my last safe space, inadvertently, obviously, and she'll just kind of like quickly. Maybe I could offer a place even more private, maybe.
Interesting. What do you have in mind?
She turns around and just kind of does like a gesture at the carriage, which I kind of described it last game. It's about 12 feet long. It's about this, like, it's high enough. Looks like you could stand up in it. It's probably not much. It's very elaborately carved on the outside. Bastion noticed some arcane ruins on it. It's got 2 windows, one on each side, and then a small sliding window at the front. It's got 2 Clydesdale horses that are reined up pretty close by and eating and everything. They're just kind of existing. And it's got a back door, or a door, like it looks like a porch, like a caboose, essentially. It's like a small back porch. And she just kind of gestures. She's like, we can go in and talk. It should be fairly safe there.
Will we all fit?
Yeah. Should.
Aaron, what does Bastion know about extra-dimensional spaces within extra-dimensional spaces?
Give me an Arcana check.
Are you worried about taking your extra-dimensional space inside of an extra-dimensional space?
I might be.
So, he doesn't know much, but he knows that he's heard stories of really terrible shit happening when 2 extra-dimensional spaces, like, combine.
Such as a black hole?
Yeah, like portals to other planes. Yeah, like really unfortunate stuff. He's pretty Planescape Adventure. Thus, Bastion is pretty sure, however, that as long as, for instance, his cloak, as long as he doesn't activate it inside another extra-dimensional space, should be fine.
Okay, cool. So, as everyone kind of like I'm assuming everyone's kind of like, marching on in.
Oh no, this is a spectacle. No one marches in yet.
Oh, okay. Bastion will noticeably like hang back and like you can see him like think for a minute and like do some like quick math on his hands and be like, okay, and then like, walk on up.
So, have any of you heard of? Have any of you heard of Theoden Hurlin by chance?
What can I roll?
Have we?
I don't remember who this person is.
It's in my bio.
Okay.
It's on the allies and organizations.
Let me go check it out, and then I will tell you. A bad DM. I should have reviewed.
No, it's fine.
Yes.
I literally dropped this on you.
Gotcha.
Can you put the name in the chat? Spark.
Yeah.
I think that only Bastion can make this history check
Okay.
if he wishes to. Yeah. You remember a dwarf named Therden Hylrin. I gotta play Skyrim more often, I guess. Get my
Kiorlin.
Or Dad of
Hylrin.
Boy.
Yeah.
You would remember this name as like an old adventurer, and like craftsman who lived in the city.
Okie dokie. Bastion will be like, the name sounds familiar.
Well, he traveled with my father, and he's actually a remarkable craftsman. He built this whole thing himself, or well, I guess himself. He cost a pretty penny, but it's similar to the one my father drives. Actually, a little smaller, but I like things compact. So, and she'll just kind of like push the door open, and she's like, "You're more than welcome to come in." And I assume everyone comes in at that point.
Jerry will just sort of like sigh and
Yeah.
just sort of walk in like finally.
Rotno will go in last because that is what he does.
Jerry is sassy today.
Bastion will walk up behind Jerry. I'm assuming it's bigger on the inside.
It is.
Welcome.
And okay, no, I'm gonna let you guys finish.
Okay. He will like see the inside, look on the outside, look down at his cloak, take a deep breath, close his eyes, and step through, and like wait a second, and then be like, "Whew."
Well, luckily for you, I don't think anything happens because it's not really an extra dimensional place. It's more of it more or less is dimensional. Like it
Right.
just stretches dimensions. The dimension currently, essentially, if you punched a hole through it, the inside would explode out of it.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Also, when Bastion seems nervous walking in, Rotno will take out his shield and put it in front of him.
So, as you guys walk in, like she's kind of has the door pushed open, and she'll kind of like gesture to everything, and essentially, you walk into a rectangular room on both sides, lined with bookshelves, about 12 feet tall. And it's in at the end of it is kind of a so you remember those crystals that she had in the shop, right? The ones that were like emanating like fire and everything.
Oh yeah.
There is essentially what looks like a hearth with one of those sitting in the middle of it. There's a small table with a chair at it. Sprawled across it is a very intricate map making kit. There are those crystal ambient lights at the end of each bookshelf, and above the bookshelves is a loft of sorts. It sort of circles around it, and you guys can't see what's up there because, like I said, it's about 12 feet tall. But it's in total, it's about 20 feet tall. It's not huge, but it's definitely shockingly big for what you just walked into.
Rotno is looking up.
Well, hey, yeah. Well, I'm not great at the dramatic, but this is my traveling arcanum for research and development and investigation of secrets. And she looks very proud at saying that.
Jerry will just he'll just grab the closest chair. I guess it's the sort of the only tables in the room, like right in the middle with all the map making stuff.
Yeah, probably, because it's really only her workspace. And there's only one chair.
Then he would stand around the table and say, "Well, thank you for bringing us into your long-named place. shall we talk?
Oh, yeah, it's traveling arcanum for research and development and investigation of secrets. It is a long name. I need to really condense it.
Some kind of acronym, perhaps.
No, that is absurd. I don't believe in
Pretty
acronyms.
fine.
So, yeah, no, we were supposed to. No, what was the question? I forgot. I got lost. But
De La Huerta.
oh, yes,
The
no,
the
okay.
5 knives.
That's right. Bartholomew, do me a favor. Take the map making stuff up to the loft for me. And as she says that, like, you guys kind of hear a, and then watch as the stuff in there is very much like gathered up and just kind of floats up.
So can your familiar become visible?
I don't know. I haven't asked him, honestly. He's a bit grumpy sometimes. Actually, he's a bit grumpy all the time. But we're here to talk about killing a and she as she says that, and she just kind of like breaks her stride, and she's like, and it does that shiver thing. Stopping this woman, right? Yes.
Justice.
Yes, in a violent way.
More likely than not. So, what are we trying to do to, or do we want to, are we looking at a more direct hit, or, are we looking at something more, like taking her down piece by piece? Because, if I remember correctly, Gaspari said something about her having some satellite bases.
Well, depends. Do you feel like doing this in one session or 14? I'm sorry, I got meta there.
Well, as far as I'm able to tell, she's been doing this for a very, very long time. So most would attempt a small piece by piece. And that usually seems to fail.
I think.
Yes, but some.
Oh, go ahead.
Yes, but sometimes you can't always get to the head of the snake to cut it off. At least not directly.
No. But I'm fairly sure she's been avoiding piece by piece longer than we've been doing it.
We're gonna have a much
one.
harder.
Go ahead.
Oh, okay. We're gonna have a much harder time of this. If the Velvet Guard continues to be aligned with the 5 knives. I don't think it's a coincidence that the entire Velvet Guard came down on this Gaspari, but she's able to operate freely.
You guys mentioned something about her at least having the cannibal under her thumb, right?
Lord Crenel?
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if the orders to deploy the Velvet Guard have been coming through him and his alliance with her. It seems like it was strange when we were fighting those lizard creatures. They tried to enter my mind and get me to do something, to visit her hideout, but I was able to shake it off. But there's other people, specifically people like Lord Crenel, focused on their greed and their own advancement, that would be much more susceptible to things like that.
Well, another thing, though, the Velvet Guard is more or less controlled by the court. I don't know how possible this is, but perhaps they're two entirely separate things. Or maybe this De La Huerta woman is making two separate things become one?
It's possible that she's using her connections with Krenel to, use him to give some misinformation to the Velvet Court.
Jerry, you said, I know I'm getting to that. You said that they tried to enter your mind, right?
It was at the end of the battle.
They tried to influence you. Okay.
When we had won, the last one standing said, go to De La Huerta's hideout and meet her there. But it wasn't just a statement. There was some dark magic behind those words. I'm convinced of it.
Did you get any feeling as to where exactly her hideout was that he was talking? I don't know, was talking about?
And Aaron, Dave the player doesn't remember that, but I remember it came up, and she told me to go somewhere specific, right?
She wanted you to go to De La Huerta's mansion, up in the noble district, up in the chateaus.
So Jerry would relay that.
Sounds like a way in, if nothing else.
Fighting De La Huerta on her turf instead of, if we pull away our allies, then maybe we can have her bring the battle to us on more advantageous ground. It makes me worried going into her mansion, like we're walking into a death trap.
Though the trick is getting her to come to us specifically. I mean, we've seen that she has a lot of pull among various sectors of the city that, she can hide behind waves and waves and waves of her minions, for lack of a better term.
I know how these gangsters think. If we make her seem weak, then she'll have to come after us herself. I'm convinced of it.
Then how will we make her seem weak?
I feel like we're circling back to taking down her satellite bases.
We take down a couple of her bases of operation. I think she'll bring the fight to us, and maybe we can have it on more advantageous ground than her Viper's Nest.
If we wanted to get some information, excuse me. If we wanted to get some information on her dealings, we could and you can see Bastion's eyes are starting to water a little bit now. Then we could always go talk to Al. She was walking out of his office when we were going to visit.
Well, it's a better lead than anything else we found, I believe.
Al. And Sybil's kind of been, as you guys have been talking again, writing fervorously in her journal. Al. Who might that be?
Hmm.
Bastion. You can see Bastion thinking back, kind of racking his brain. He's like, I can't remember his full name. He was someone we met through a friend of ours.
Alakio is his name. I know that.
Aha. Voices from a past life. He's like, Alakio, I think. He's a guy up in the chateaus, businessman up there.
I think you were a little busy having your hands blown off at that time, Bastion.
Yeah, it all kind of blurs together with the pain.
Well, we could start there.
I mean, we've made some friends in the Undercity too. We could go talk to our beggar friends down that way.
place doesn't do well with bright colors. So, hold on. On a scale of... No, that's dumb. Also, if you were to say, if you had been influenced by this lizard creature and had shown up at Delaguerta's hideout or mansion, would you think you would have been cut down immediately?
Probably tortured for a few days first.
Okay, well, that cuts that out. All right. Huh.
But it's an interesting idea. I mean, we could pretend to just walk up to the front door, but have some alternative plans in place.
I mean, I could technically get two of us through her gate, maybe even into her house, but that's a bit of a stretch.
I mean, technically, if we were all going with Jerry, then there's no reason why we shouldn't be able to, at least get our way through the gate. She does want to see him after all, or possibly lure him into a trap.
Or we could go under the guise of, speaking of the assassinations.
Or I could always play the guise of the innocent girl.
Yes, the innocent girl walking to a crime boss's place.
Okay. No, that's a good point, actually.
It was interesting to watch when you tried that at Vance's mansion.
Well, no, that was actually really bad if I remember correctly. I did not a good job at that.
So maybe we ask around and when in doubt, get more information. I mean, it's tricky because I know the more places we visit, the more people we ask, the more chance it is we're gonna walk into a trap at some point in time. I mean, I feel safe here, but this is about the only place I've felt safe and since we entered this place now.
Oh, well, don't get used to it. It's rude for people to be in other people's rooms. Huh. But we needed somewhere private, so...
Look, if we're gonna do something, I would really like it if we started today. We're not gonna get a better time to cause some ruckus than during the festival.
How about we go
Ashton,
talk to
right?
Al first?
I'm sorry, it's some sinus stuff. Don't worry about me.
Okay. All right. Well, I actually have tea kind of always cooking or boiling if you want some, maybe?
Oh, no, it's fine. All I need is a little bit of fresh air after this.
Well, we are going to walk into a stable, to be perfectly fair.
It's fresher than magic.
So, what are we going to do first?
Sounds like the consensus is go visit Al and see if we can get information about the Five Knives operation and maybe plan a strike from there. There's no guarantee Al will be on our side though. I don't know how close I mean, if he operates with LaGuerta, does he align himself with her? I wish we could ask. I wish we could ask Faint, but I guess that's not a possibility anymore.
Maybe. Okay. So, Gaspari is on our side, right?
Theoretically. Well, he's at least against Delaguerta, which an enemy of my enemy kind of thing, at worst.
Right. So maybe we should get information from him to find out where loyalties are in the city, who's loyal to who, at least loyal as in they can be bought, or they can't be bought because they're already getting paid so much. That way we don't accidentally ask someone who's loyal to someone else and then we end up getting all attacked again. Because I don't know about you guys, but I'd prefer not to see a slaughter again.
The only issue I have with that is his main hideout just got raided not 12 hours ago. We're not entirely sure where he's at, unless, Jerry, you have any thoughts on a backup hideout for him?
I think Jerry would be gone long enough out of the city. I don't know that he'd have any idea. He'll just say, you know, I there's some of the old places we used to hide out at, but I don't know if those are still Gaspari's or if they're someone else's now. It's been a few years.
Well, we could try talking to Al and to the guys that we want to talk to her because of the assassinations. The assassination attempt. And presented as we want to talk, not fight.
How about leave the assassination part out? I don't know this for certain, but usually when a band of weapon and armored clad people walk into a building asking to talk to someone, that usually insinuates not talking. But especially when the words assassination are mentioned.
Well, there's one way to find out, I guess. We could just throw ourselves towards the best course of action as we see fit and let the cards fall however they may.
Honestly, that seems like the best course of action right now, because although we don't have a set timetable, we do have Delaguerta breathing down our necks with sharp, pointy swords at our soft bits.
You don't know something also. Literally in every fiction or in every novel I've ever read, big festivals like this are usually good cover-ups for upheaval of power. Just throwing that out there.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Good
true.
point.
Let's try to make sure that it's not our power being upheaved, or Gaspari's, I guess, if that's the goal on Delguer's end.
Well, if all else fails, we burn the city and run.
No, let's not do that.
I prefer we did not do that too.
By the way,
Ariel
instead of
just looked really
responding to
cockeyed at
any of
Rockman.
them- Instead of responding to any of them, he's just gonna walk out.
Okay.
Jerry will just say he's joking, right? He's joking.
I've
right?
known him for I've known you guys for 3 days. I don't know. I still have a bookstore here and a house.
Jerry will follow Rockman out the door.
Bastion, upon walking out, will like pat Elle on the shoulder and be like, "It's okay. We won't let him burn the town down." And he'll walk out the door just,
Are you sure you don't want to eat tea or anything?
I'm
No?
good, I'm
Okay.
good, I'm good.
All right. Okay. And she'll just kind of like walk out and then just walk out, forget that she didn't close the door, run back, close the door back, and then lock it and then run off to catch up.
Ron would just walk out into the stables, basically.
Cool. So good planning sesh. The goal now is to go see Al. Yes?
That seems like the plan.
Yep.
Alright. So you guys set off from the stables at the lowest of the low here in the city. And you start making your way up to the chateaus and the skyport where Al works. As I said before, streets are packed with every imaginable color, costume, and sound, beverage, and food available to the human imagination.
Elle is just like when we pass a vendor or something, she's just gonna grab like the carnival foods and everything, and just kind of like hand them out to the party, and just be like, "Here, no, try this. These are actually really good. They only cook these once a year. You know that?"
And Elle and Bastion know that on the day of the Midsummer Festival, all food and drink is free.
Oh, sweet.
That's
Nice.
that's fine. Fun fact: I realized it the other day. Elle never gave the 500 gold back that Bastion just dropped on the table, so she just has it.
Yeah, that checks out. Bastion just assumed that that was services paid for.
But as you're going through the streets, passing through the grand market is like its whole affair. There's a big stage being constructed in the middle of the grand market. Sybil and Bastion both probably anticipate that for the Battle of the Boasts later tonight. A citywide favorite.
By the way, to get into the spirit, Ratna's faceplate is up and he's wearing a mask.
Oh, awesome. Lovely.
He is still in full armor.
That's great.
So it's just as you exit the grand market when you hear a loud voice behind you, and it says, "Oi, is that him? Oh, yes, sir. Hey, I think that's him, all right." And you
Gonna look
hear
back.
you hear another voice. "Oi, Gimgin. Oh, yes, that's him. Durak, get over here. It's him, eh?" And looking behind you, you see a trio of dwarves, all in battle-ready regalia, and they are approaching the group. The one in the middle sort of comes forward and goes up to you, Roxna, and says, "Oi there, you blasted bugger! It's been hard to find ye."
Is it Ulfaden?
It is not.
I'm gonna look at him. And you are?
He says, "Oi, me name's Harand. This is me brother Gimgin, and this is me other brother Durak." He says, "We heard of ye from old Faden. Blessed by Clangeddon, he said you was."
I believe so.
He says, "Oi, so ye really are the one they call Nah?"
Nod.
He says, "Oi, glorious day, brothers, we found him." And all three of them kneel in front of you. And Harend says, "By the powers of Clangeddon, the dwarven god o' battle and arms, me, Harend Rumenheim, and me brother Gimgin Rumenheim, and me other brother Durak Rumenheim, we do pledges our service to ye, Rachna Stormed Blessed."
I have absolutely no idea what to do here.
Jerry will just say, how'd you find us?
Well, the one called Durak looks up and says, "Oi, well, we heard from old Faden that there was some sort of tiefling man walking around her, big old shiny armors. Oh well, we did we did bugger a few old folks there in shiny armors. It turned out not to be him, but more buggers in shiny armor you bugger, the closer y'all to find into one, eh?
So there's a lot of trigger words going around right now. Like actual names and them constantly saying them very loudly. So, maybe we should wrap this up quickly.
And I should also point out she was saying that to the party, like kind of she stayed back, like she's back. She doesn't want nothing to do with this.
Oh yeah.
So it's just kind of she leans in and she's kind of, I assume, probably in Rockman's ear, like she's like,
So they've said your name 4 times in the last 10 seconds, and they're very much not
praise be to Rachna Storm Blessed.
Yeah, no, that makes 5. So we should wrap this up and we should go, because otherwise they're gonna get us killed.
Whisper back. Well, didn't we want her to come to us?
Yes, but cronies aren't her, and they tend to be the ones that show up.
Good point. I still have no idea what to do.
The one called Gimgin stands up and says, "Oh, mighty Rachna, our hammers are yours. We swears
6.
it."
Is there a how do I wanna Bastion will step forward, seeing Rachna kind of standing there, like, kind of stone-faced.
Ragna is not good at friendly conversation.
He will step forward and bow to these dwarfs, and then stand up to his full height, staring them in the eyes, and say, "My fine dwarf gentlemen, our noble Lord Rachna is on his way to take care of some important business, but I can assure you that we will require your services sooner than you know. Keep a weather eye out for a messenger." And Bastion will reach into his pack and pull out a pen and paper, write down how he thinks their names are spelled, and be like, making sure that he can get messages to them if we need their service, and be like, are these spelled right? We absolutely want to be sure that we can get in touch with you when you are needed.
Yeah, they correct your spelling, and this Harend, the middle one, says, "Oh yes, indeedly do. We'll watch for signs from the storms, eh? And when our hammers begin to quiver with the spirit of Clangeddon, we'll know that our Lord Rachna demands our service." Also, a Nodal probably do fine too.
And Jerry will just sort of like seeing Bastions just sort of take the opportunity to like get a note to these guys. Jerry will just say, "Oh, and if you happen to see any folks with like lizard types with some weird masks, just take note of where they are and let us know about it later."
Aye, aye. Lizardy folks with old maskies. Can do, can do.
And Jerry will just turn to Rachna and say, "Seems you have a following. What's going on with that?"
I may have blown up a temple. And I will just continue walking.
That doesn't make me feel better about you not burning the city down.
Bastion will like shoot like wide-eyed look up at Rachna and then like compose himself, say, "May your delay in service not be long." And he will turn and follow Rockin' off into the crowds.
Just as you leave them, you hear them talking feverishly as if they had just met a celebrity. Like, "Oi, Gimgin, did you see his hammer? Oh yeah, it was some fancy hammer he had." And it's like, "Oi, yes, the rack. His eyes brimmed with the stormy battles they did." All this kind of stuff.
I love those guys. They're great.
Those were yeah.
Yep, I just have no idea how to respond to them.
We're starting to get groupies. Yes.
Oh.
This is not my first character that I've had to deal with fanboys on.
Apparently, I need to blow up more temples.
Yeah, so clerics get followers. Blow up temples.
Well, clerics of war gods maybe.
Oh yeah, true.
I feel like the clerics of peace probably aren't too fond of that.
Well, they gotta blow up bad guy temples, right?
Yeah, normally
No,
it's
they're all
the
about-
other people's temples that need to get blown up to get followers.
Not your own.
Oh, that was weird. So, let me get this straight. You guys just told 3 very loudmouthed folk about the lizard folk. Okay, so yeah, all right. No, that checks out. All right, cool.
Look, Al, all I heard back there is that we have 3 more people when the fight actually starts to go down.
Nope. Yep.
Just like echoing down the street, you hear, "Oi, but better keep an eye out for them lizard folk, right? Yes, oh yes, we're gonna keep an eye out." Right? Just like,
It's almost like there's a dramatic echo to my words. So, this is gonna end well. All right, cool.
I
No,
apologize.
I'm fine. Anxious, but fine. No, yep, cool. All right, yep, let's go.
You seem to worry quite a bit.
Nope, nope. I'm absolutely calm. I have no idea what you're talking about.
and after that little episode, you do eventually make your way up to the sky dock. There is no sky ship here today, but it seems there is a bit of a bustle getting a shipment ready. And you find your way up to the customs office where Al works. The people in like the outer office, they kind of recognize you as someone who does business with Al, so they do not bar you entry. And like I assume you like knock on the door, which you find Al very promptly answers, and he seems taken aback that it's you folk again.
Hi, Al. Long time no see. And Bastion will wave.
He says, I admittedly did not expect to see you back. It is good to see you. I am glad that you continue to survive. What, it has been 2 days, maybe?
And Aaron thought he wouldn't have to do a vaguely European accent ever again.
It has been a long 1 or 2 days. Let me tell you, and we're not slowing down quite yet. Maybe come in and speak for a few minutes, if you have the time.
I suppose I do. Just let me put away these papers, and he goes and he files them all away very efficiently. He sits down. He says, "Would you like some wine? It is for free on the day of the festival."
Hey, Aaron. Question.
Mm-hmm.
With I have extremely sharp eyes. What is on those papers?
Oh, those you see are shipping logs of goods from somewhere called Restov. It lists a bunch of like mundane stuff, shipments of iron, shipments of grain, shipments of like fancy vases and stuff. It's nothing like particularly interesting.
Okay, just wondering.
Mhm.
She's very observant. She's not super aware, like when she wants to look at things, she does. So
And Jerry just rolled a 1 on his perception check, so yeah, he is attempting to keep an eye out for any like, say if he's like reaching for, I don't know, like a loaded crossbow under his desk or something like that.
you guys are
Rachna
so
stands
mistrusting.
near the door, as he always does.
Ella's in the back, very much like hiding behind the rest of the party, but also looking around.
And I just had a funny thought of just pressed into the wall behind Rachna.
Oh no. Well, I mean, if she could fit, probably. She very much does not like talking to people.
Bastion is going to like turn back to Rachna, making sure that the door is closed. And he's going to like tap a finger to his ear, like signaling to like make sure you're listening to the door because of last time.
I will listen to door.
Oh,
door, tell me your secrets.
Oh, well, Bartholomew's posted outside. So,
13 perception in case it becomes relevant.
Aaron's typing.
So Al is sitting there. He pours glasses of wine for everybody, and he says, "I did not expect to see you back. What brings you back to my office?"
Bastion is going to close his eyes for a second, take a deep breath, and then say, "The last time we were here, we had a quick confrontation with one De La Guerta as she was leaving your office. I'm sure you remember."
Oh, it has been plaguing my dreams for the last several days. Yes.
We were curious if you had any hints on. We were curious if you had any hints on anything that, or on what her current plan, or any. How do I want to phrase this?
She attempted to kill us. We want to speak with her and hopefully prevent a second attempt.
So Elle's been taking notes because she does it all the time. As soon as Rachna says she attempted to kill us, she's going to just stop, look up at him, and just drop her head like.
Oh, she has attempted to kill you, eh? Oh, well, I see that she has failed. This is good for you, I suppose. You wish to talk to her? Oh, well, what would you think that I would know anything about that?
Just, do you think this city would be a better place without De La Guerta in it?
Oh my god.
He looks over to you, Jerry.
What a line.
Says,
We're gonna die.
I have already prepared a secondary character.
This is gonna be my third character though. Put so much fucking into L.
Um, Al gives you a curious look, Jerry, and he says, "Oh, well, my friend, that depends. Who is the one that is speaking through you?"
Go ahead. Go ahead, tell him that too.
I speak with the voice of justice.
He gives a big laugh. Justice? Invaltore? This is a myth, friend.
Then what about
Coin rules all here.
Then what about with the voice of vengeance? She did try to kill us after all.
Ah, yes, the voice of vengeance also speaks loudly in this city as well. You will find the voice of justice a quiet one here, I am afraid. Vengeance, on the other hand, this voice can get things done. Tell me though, speak plainly if you would. Is it personal vengeance, or are you backed by more potent forces? This I must know.
She shot up the front of my shop. Almost endangered literally every patron in there. And almost killed me too, and I had nothing to do other than these fine folk just happened to be in my shop at the time. It's personal, very much so for me.
Let's say that it's a little bit of both. We all have our personal reasons to want to take down De La Guerta. However, we have also recently spoken with Gaspari.
Ah, yes, you speak with the voice of Gaspari.
Oh no.
Yes, this makes some changes.
You guys. Oh no.
It's all right. You gotta take some chances to get some things. We'll see what happens.
I
Now
will prepare the fire spells.
Al says, "Now I am knowing how to answer your first question, Jerry. No, I do not think this city would be better without De La Guerta. If only because she keeps men like Gaspari in check. She's new to this scene, the underground, and she has shaken it up, much to the chagrin of the others. And this is good. She weeds out the old and provides room for new business to grow. But, you know, I am understanding. I understand that a leader like her is often despised for what she does. Yes, and please do not get the wrong idea. I am not aligned with her. Consider me a neutral third party, more of an observer. She has helped me in my business where Gaspari has not. So, from my point of view, she is good. But also, if she were to die, I am sure someone else would come along that would help all out.
And this is all to say that we wouldn't necessarily be taking down the Five Knives as a whole. I'm sure that, given the right motivation, we could persuade someone in line with your interests, maybe someone more in line with the interests of the city at whole, into that particular vacuum. De La Guerta, however, has proven to be a pain in many, many sides.
I do not disagree. I have not tasted, or rather felt the prick of her thorns. Nearly smelt the petals of a rose.
Ew,
What?
gross. And that's audible. Like as soon as he says it, she just goes, "That's gross."
Yes, that was a bit much information.
It was a metaphor. I do not mean children these days always not knowing the old sayings.
Bastion's gonna get that explicit warning on his Twitch stream now.
Smelling rose petals, explicitly NSFW.
He says, so, you have come to me asking me where you can find her, yes?
Or where we know where to find her chateau. They told us to meet her there, but what are her other bases? Where does she specifically? One thing I don't feel should be continued to allowed in this city is the slavery, and I know she's a part of it.
We're basically looking for information on her potential business dealings, business goals, so that we can, I don't know, perhaps stick our nose there.
Hey, Aaron.
Yeah.
Real quick. Somehow I deleted the wrong invocation. I accidentally kept Armor of Shadows. Was not supposed to, because all my stuff was supposed to be eye based. But I have Armor of Shadows. I'm supposed to have the one that allows for detect magic.
Cool.
Because you even asked me about that. I think I don't know if I purposely did it and just forgot about it or what, but no, well, I don't know. Yeah, because it doesn't really do me any good, Armor of Shadows, I guess. I don't know. Never mind. I was gonna ask if I could swap them out at a different point, and because I was gonna cast Detect Magic, and I went to open it up, and I realized I didn't have it, so.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to swap invocations, I totally don't mind.
Well, yeah, because it'd be different if I needed, because you could swap them when you level up, but I had forgotten, or I don't know. I think I deleted the wrong one, or something.
Okay. Well, I mean, you
right.
can make sure you have the ones that you want. I'm not opposed to that.
Okay. All right. Yeah. So I'm gonna cast Detect Magic, or not really cast it. She's gonna kind of look up from her notes, and since she's kind of in the back, no one's gonna see him, but her eyes kind of flicker, and she's just gonna kind of look around the room and look over at him specifically to see if anything catches her eye.
You definitely get a couple senses of various magical auras. It does seem like he is wearing a magical ring. As well, there appears to be a sense of magic coming from his body.
What school of magic, by chance?
So the ring is abjuration, and the body one is evocation.
Okay. As long as it's not an enchantment or something, that wouldn't really. I just make sure he wasn't charmed or something.
No, you don't sense any illusions or enchantments.
Okay, that's fine. It was just one of those things. It's like I said, she's very investigative. She's not observant or she's not perceptive, but it would just be one of those things like, oh, check this off the list.
So in responding to the question of what are her business dealings, Al says, well, this is strictly off the books, of course. I cannot be be seen or heard telling what my clients are doing. But you are friends of old Faint Twin, and he told me to help you out. So this I shall do. He says, of late, Carmen de la Guerta has been using my other services to acquire items from far south. A place called the Jungles of Ix.
At that mention, audible sigh. That is the third time they've come up in the last 2 days. Great.
And
Just a mutter.
Let me guess. It's associated with Vermin King.
He looks a little confused. I do not know that name. Who is this Kane you speak of?
Okay, wait a second. Out of game, he was the one who gave Faint the heads up, wasn't he?
Yes, he was. Totally my bad. Yes, he was.
Okay.
Okay. Yes, sorry. It's just been a while and I forget exactly everything that's been said. Thank you for catching
It's fine. Well, yeah, no, because it would have been a big deal if he had, like, honestly not known that.
If he had suddenly been like, I don't know. Yeah, cool. So instead, he says, I do not, to my knowledge, there is no connection between the two. But you seem to think otherwise. Why is this?
We've met this Vermin King, and he told us to seek him out in the jungles of Ix.
Oh, most curious.
The jungles of Ix happen to be a popular vacation spot because the way they keep coming up, they seem to be.
Indeed, you are not entirely incorrect. And there is but one city there, a place called Port Nyanzaru. It is, as you say, a popular vacation spot for those wealthy and some say foolish enough to make the journey.
I did not actually expect to be vacation spots.
Al says, De La Guerta has tasked me with bringing back these ancient idols. I have contracted some adventurous folk to delve some tombs, find some old idols of forgotten gods, and bring them back. She appears to be a bit of a collector.
And Jerry will just sort of jump in and say, and do you have any open contracts still where you're looking for people to collect items?
Oh, I mean, yes. She pays me quite a good sum. She says, anything that you find, Al, bring to me.
Mr. Akio, if I may, does the word white plume mean anything to you at all?
White plume. Is that not that mountain? Yes. I have heard people say in the southeast of our bond, there is a great mountain. Some say a volcano. I think they call it White Plume.
Okay. Are there any specific legends surrounding it that you might know of that draw your interest with Miss De La Guerta?
Nothing with me still Guerta. No, I do not get down to the city, to the lower city, much. I hear, foolish rumors of there is tombs or something. I have heard there is an ancient forgotten monastery somewhere in the mountains. Foolish rumors of drunken adventurers.
Okay, I was just wondering. It was something that you seem knowledgeable enough, and I was curious. It's something I read the other day.
Indeed, perhaps if you are more interested, the taverns, I think, would be a better place.
Of course. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, doke. Thank you.
And she goes right back to writing. Where was what was the city called that it was southeast of?
So the Duchy of Arbonne is the duchy the duchy that Valdora is the capital of. And it
Oh.
was in southeastern Arbonne. If you look on the map and the handouts, you will see.
Yes. Okay, that was a dumb question then. If I had looked, I would have known that.
No worries.
Okay, doke. Yep, she's writing all that down.
Bastion will say, will nod and say, touching back on these shipments that are coming in, are there any particular docks or ports that she prefers to use when receiving shipments? You have specific information on your shipments, but I was wondering if you had anything else on just her general practices, something we could, dig into and investigate on our own.
I am not sure, to be honest. It is sort of a businessman's agreement that we do not discuss the different avenues among our competitors. He sort of looks a little. He sort of looks down for a moment. Looks like he's debating something internally, telling you something. It looks like.
Hey, Aaron, what? Nothing fishy going on outside the door, right? Or no, I haven't felt anything or heard anything.
Neither Rachna nor Bartholomew have seen anything untoward.
Okay, good.
Bastion is going to say when Al looks down, all we really need to know is if the other, her other shipments come in through the same or at least a nearby dock of yours. If not, then, and we decide to hit that dock, then we don't want it to be easily traced back to you. That would just be, rude and really not really generous considering.
Indeed. Oh yes, I appreciate your concern for my business. I will tell you this. I am grappling with something. A good friend, Fainty, has told me to help you, but also my businessman instincts tell me no. I have certain information that it could be very useful to you, but I am thinking that maybe something to help me loosen the tongue. Yes?
Let's see. Bastion is going to turn backwards and be like, is this the part where and he'll pat his belt where his coin purse is.
Is this the part where I grossly overpay the bribe?
Um, Mr. Akio, again, if you don't mind me, maybe throwing, perhaps a bit of luster into it. Try to help out here. Oh, I haven't properly introduced myself. I'm Sybil Elowin Moonbrook. I actually
Oh,
run the.
Sorry.
Indeed,
ru-
of the Moonbrook bookstore. Yes. I
Yes.
thought you looked familiar.
Well. Yeah. Just look flustered at that. Yes. Well. So, I don't. You seem a very learned man. Yes. And she just kind of straightens herself up at that.
I would like to think so.
Um, then surely you've heard of our fine collection of research material.
Indeed. I have indeed.
Then you have also heard of our quite steep browsing fee. Yes.
I have paid it myself many times.
Yes. Well, what if we say waive that? You know, for the rest of your natural life.
This is sounding good. Al can feel his tongue being lubricated already. The dryness and the stiffness he was once feeling is washing away.
Sure. I can at least guarantee you a very hefty discount, if not a full waive. But it is all entirely extremely valuable information. Surely that is well worth the information that my friends here would like.
Indeed. This I can work with. This can soothe my businessman side and let my friend of faint side take over. I am thinking.
Good. You're still not allowed to take books out, but
I need to read the fine print all of the time, he says. Again, caught in a Jin's curse.
yes. Yeah. Well, you know the rules.
So he leans in, folding his arms sort of like under his chin, or folding his hands, I guess, elbows on the table, that kind of thing. And he says, "So, I do not know all of Della Guerta's dealings outside of what she's doing with me, but I know who does. It is her. Only she knows all of what she does. And you are saying, Hal, that is stupid. Of course, we know this. But it may be difficult. But I am thinking that you could speak with her without her knowing it is you. I have heard that through the grapevine, that there will be a very fancy party tonight at the estate of none other than one Lord Krenel. And I have it on equally good authority that Miss Carmen de la Guerta will be in attendance, along with many other of the fancy noble types. If what you say is true, Miss Moonbrook, and my fee has been waived for all time, Al could conceivably find a way to get you invitations.
I don't see why it wouldn't be a problem. Especially knowing what we know now.
Always at these parties, Hal is knowing that all of the business is done there, and tonight of the festival, the wine will be flowing very, very freely. I'm sure that Del Guerta's tongue will be as sleek as mine.
Bastion says that would be incredibly helpful and generous of you.
If if you ever find yourself in need of a favor in return, Al, you know, I'm sure you know how to find us.
Oh yes, I do. I do, of course. You are not that hard to find, my friends.
Oh, very encouraging.
We've found that to be true over the last 48 hours.
So it is settled. Then this is what I shall be doing for you. I will get to work. I will make some recommendations, get some people, and check back maybe in 4 or 5 hours. I shall have the invitations for you.
Thank you very much, Al. We're in your debt.
Oh, well, I was going to say no worries, but maybe I have some worries. I'm starting to run out of the kindnesses Al can do for you.
Hopefully, if all goes according to plan, we will not need to ask for any more.
This is good. This is good. I mean, please ask for as many things as you are wishing, but maybe bring more coin next time.
Bastion will smile at that and start to head out of the room.
Jerry will just give a bow and back out as well.
Rotna will nod and walk out.
I assume L follows.
Most likely, because according to Spark, there BRB.
Yeah. No, I'm back. Yeah.
Okay.
She follows. Also, all our background characters are gonna turn on us.
100%.
So, what is the problem with burning down the city again?
L holds no beef with anybody. Faint wouldn't have cared. Faint doesn't have any holds in this city. All right, so we are doing some straight up Ocean's 11 nonsense tonight.
Beautiful.
Yeah, so we've got like 5 hours to kill. What do we do in the next 5 hours? Or 5 hours? 4 hours and 5 minutes, I guess? I don't know.
I'm gonna go check on the shop. Actually, when I locked it up the other night, it was kind of exposed. We had people working on it, but I'm curious whether they got it less open.
At this point in our at this point in time, I don't see it wise of us not sticking together. So I will accompany you.
And should we just be tromping around? I mean, maybe we ought to just lay low, or maybe Al, you pay someone to check on it instead of going yourself.
I'm not exactly what you call made of money. Can't honestly pay a lot of people.
What about Bartholomew? Can't he just go take care of it for you?
Yeah, maybe. Probably.
Bastion will smile and pat Jerry in the back and say, "It's okay. I know if you back ways and alleys from my time lurking around these streets, running some deliveries myself, so I know a few ways to kind of keep our head down even in this festival
So
time.
we really blend in, honestly, or at least I do. Rachna somehow manages to still stick out, or at least to 3 dwarves. And Bastion, you can keep your head under the crowd for the most part.
Bastion pouts a little bit at this, just like, yeah.
Rotner shall attempt to not laugh.
She was being 110% serious. Like, she wasn't jabbing at him. It was just like a thing. It's like, no, that's a benefit.
Yeah, it's just anytime anyone reminds him about it, he's just like,
Yeah, because she doesn't know the story behind it. She just knows that you're short for a human.
Yep.
Jerry will just readjust his party mask and his party robes, I guess they are, and get ready to head on back out into the city to tromp around.
Also, I should point out these robes and masks probably don't fit perfectly well, so they might be a little either tight or whatever. They're just cloaks and masks, so it's like...
Alright, lovely. So, the consensus was Bartholomew gonna go check on the shop?
Oh no, she's going.
Okay, okay. So everyone's tromping down.
Yeah, Bastion is trying to lead us through some, like, back alleys and some, like, lesser traveled areas so that we can, keep our heads down, not be walking straight through the crowd.
Awesome. Yeah. Your inconspicuous clothing coupled with Bastion's knowledge of the back streets allows you to snake your way down back to the Moonbrook shop without incident.
And Rotner self-controlled and not use bagpipes.
Okay. Awesome.
What does... Actually, I feel like this is the one time that bagpipes, the most attention you get is someone being like, boo! But other than that, it's just... So, what does the shop look like currently?
The front of the shop is totally repaired. A brand new pane of glass has been installed, and all the debris cleaned up.
This was done really quickly. Can you guys wait here? I'll only be a second. I'm gonna run in and make sure everything's where it's supposed to be.
Sure thing.
I mean,
Rotner will lean on the wall.
actually, that's kind of rude. Should I invite him in? You guys can come into the main shop if you want. And just especially since no, come to the main shop. I'm gonna go into the archives though.
Bastion will shrug, kind of browse the front room shelves, and, pick out a book or two and flip through them.
What does is there anything going on the inside, Aaron? Hello?
Sorry, I was muted. The inside looks great. It looks like the people that you hired to fix it up, they did a really good job.
Okay, good. I was worried there for a second. I was like, okay. Yeah, so very hurriedly, she's going to run into the archives, run past all the bookshelves, run back to a black oak cabinet, and like take out a key ring that's got like 7 keys on it, and just use them all and unlock 7 different locks on this shelf. Open it up, and there's going to be a stack of essentially the restricted books, the darker ones that go in the archives. And she's going to pull out the original copy of the book that she transcribed for the party. And she's going to throw it into her bag.
You would have, but you find that it is gone.
Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no no no. Oh god. Oh god. Um. Hmm. And if you were, and my alarm didn't go off at all, because I had the alarm set
Hey,
in the window
indeed,
and stuff.
the alarm did not go off, but the book is gone.
Oh. Oh god. Oh no. Oh. Oh. Jeez. Uh, she's going to start looking around frantically to see if there's any signs of anything, like anybody who could, like any like signs of anything being out of place now. Like, 'cause at first she was just coming in. At first she was just coming in straight for the books. She was very focused on it. But now that she's like, oh, this is gone. What else is out of place?
So I imagine that Elle has a very high level of knowledge about the archive, and you do not notice anything out of place. There are no other books missing. The
So
cabinet
everything
was
is
locked. Like, it doesn't seem like anything has been tampered with.
oh god.
It,
Oh god.
it feels like the book like teleported out of the case.
She's gonna pull off her glasses, and I'm going to cast Detect Magic to see if there's anything.
There is a like very, very faint magical residue where the book was, but that's it. And like any other magical books that happen to be in here that you already know of.
Yeah. No, I'm sure there are. It's more of a. So she's very quickly going to shut the door or shut the thing, lock them all back, and run out to Bastion. Do you still have the copy that I transcribed for you of the book you came in? Can I see it?
Best would be like, yeah, give me just a sec. And he's gonna, start digging through his pack and pull out the book and hand it over.
Does he have that book?
Yes, he does indeed have the copy that you made.
Okay, so Sybil will rush over to a table and open it up to the particular page that she would have transcribed and left off a series of annotations. And then she's going to flip open to the page in her journal of those annotations. And she is going to, pound for pound, almost identically copy them onto the transcribed version. Okay. And she's going to, without explanation, shove it back into Bastion's arms and be like, the book's gone.
What did you just do?
I want to rewind just a split second. All that totally happened, but when you opened the copied book that you made and you flipped to the page where you were making the annotations, there is new text in the book.
Oh.
In like a scrawled hand, like over top of the translation that you made, there is text saying, "Foolish girl, you think you can tamper in what you do not know."
Okay, correction. Let's retcon a bit. Reading that, because I assume that she'd start to write it, and as she goes to like write the exact thing, she looks down at it. So and it is cryptic as all right.
Sorry, what's cryptic?
The writing. It's all it's very cryptic looking. I assume it's in that creepy handwriting.
Oh yes, it's like in a scrawled handwriting. Very not good looking at all.
So minor freak out. Again, she's got her back to the party, but it was a very frantic moment, so I assume everyone's watching. So like she starts to write something, and as she's doing it, like she looks, and you just hear, oh, and then she just straightens up, slams the book shut, and then gives it back and be like, nothing. Funny thing, you know the original version of that?
Yes.
So you know how? Well, you may not know. So we have a place we put books that are darker, less friendly information, more dangerous, right?
Right.
Well, clearly the book. I don't know if you actually read what I gave you there. Have you, by chance?
I haven't had too much of a chance.
Okay. Well, then that narrows it down to at least within the last 2 days. So the original copy is gone. Also, someone has managed to get into your copy and deface it, or at least on a particular page.
Bastion will open up the book and like start flipping through, and then eventually seeing it's just like, I'm sorry for bringing whatever this is on you. I honestly hope it doesn't go further, because there's nothing that could have gotten into my bag. I've had it on me. I guess there was that moment, or the that, you know, hour or so we were at Gaspari's place, but it somehow I feel it's more, I don't know, mystical than that.
Yeah, that doesn't explain. Yeah, because that wouldn't explain how the. So, I should probably tell you, were annotations in the original version. Didn't really make a whole lot of sense, so I didn't think they were worth transcribing, but I figured I'd write them down anyways, just in case. So, and essentially, she tell them about it. Aaron, I don't know if I don't have the actual thing right off.
I can make it appear before your eyes.
Let's do that.
Like witchcraft.
So with the additional annotations, are you showing them everything?
Yes.
Okay. So just as you open the book and like to show your friends what you have found within, more text in the same scrawled hand starts appearing as if being written in front of you. And it says, I am going to enjoy ripping the flesh from your bones when we finally meet.
So as like it starts showing up, she's going to turn even more pale and just kind of like slap the book down and just kind of back up, and as she's backing up she just falls like kind of just like and starts scooting backwards. It's just one of those things. She's pale white, her glasses are like askew. I don't know what this thing is. I've never. Oh God.
More text appears. You were foolish to make a copy. I now see all.
Jerry
So-
will try and rip out the page that the words are appearing on. This is in Sybil's notebook at this point, right?
So this is in the copy that she made, which I think is separate
Oh.
from her personal notebook.
Oh yeah, it's not in the journal. The journal just has the annotations and stuff in it, which
Right. You
That-
initially weren't going to give to the party.
yeah.
Fine.
Okay, so that makes it sound like it was devious.
Well, that perhaps you didn't think important enough
Yes.
to give to the party is
Yes.
more important.
So, speaking of that, my journal is untouched, right?
Your journal is fine.
Okay, just making sure.
Would Ratna hear the commotion inside?
Oh yeah.
Okay, he'd come in.
Jerry, the page you rip it out fine.
And I'll try and just sort of crumple it up and just say dark magic, and just sort of make the sign of a sign of warding at the book.
And as you rip the page out, you see that the text that is being written before your very eyes stops abruptly when the page gets torn out. But then it continues seamlessly on the page behind.
So
Is
as like, so I assume the book's probably on the floor now, right? Because
Oh,
I'd
yeah.
slapped it out of Bastion, or whoever had its hand, anyways.
absolutely.
So as she's backing up, almost like desperately, she's going to throw her hand out, and a bolt of like silver energy is just going to slam into it, and I'm just going to hit it with an Eldritch Blast. See what happens.
The book goes flying across the room, many of its pages tattering by the force of your expulsion. Many pages go flying, although I think the book is still probably hanging by its bindings, but many pages have been knocked out.
Huh. I never thought I'd see the day when you destroy a book.
That's no normal book. I don't know what it is. If it's an extension of that thing that I locked in there. I don't know what it is, but it knows who I am now, and that's not good.
You're right, and I don't think knocking it across the room is all we need to do. Let's gather it back together and burn it.
I'm not
I'm
touching that
agreement
thing
with
again.
this. I will help gather it together. Is it
Fine.
still writing?
Yes, on any pages that are still connected to the binding, the writing just continues and continues. A lot of it seems rambly, but it seems very intent on both insulting Sybil for her foolishness and her naivete, contrasting that with gleeful descriptions of the harm it will do to her when the writer and she meet.
I'm gonna just write on it. You really should shut up at this point. You're just going on.
When you write that, the writing stops, and then moments later, a new sentence appears. Who is this?
Oh my god, it's Tom Riddle's journal.
Someone of no importance.
Bastion sees you writing as he like comes over with like the rest of the pages. Is like, don't talk back to it. Stand back.
I'm gonna just shrug. Why not?
Remember the eye, Rachna. Did any good come of that
Yes.
thing?
Yes.
Bastion will hold up his hands and flex them backwards. Just kind of like giving him like the like really look.
Well, we found a broom of flight.
Bastion is going to he's going to like look at the book and then be like, I don't have any magical fire. And he will look.
Oh, I do.
And be like, then by all means, fire away. And he'll be like, wait.
Okay.
He'll be like, pause.
Move it out of the shop first.
Yeah.
No fires indoors.
As you're saying that, Sybil, like reading or like having seen all that, and this is all like really too much. She's essentially crawled into like a fetal position of sorts. Spastic, like kind of freak out level. And as she is doing it, she's just it's gonna be all right, it's gonna be all right, and just kind of like rocking back and forth. And as she does, like that same like silverish fire, the monochrome fire, just kind of like erupts around her. And I don't know if you'll allow it, but can I hellish rebuke the book?
Yeah, sure.
Because it technically attacked me verbally.
Yeah,
I
sure.
came
You
out
can
to have a
definitely.
good time, and honestly, I'm just feeling really attacked right now.
I feel like you can hellish rebuke it. This is fine. So it's outside now. Rocking him over this-
No, it was in the middle of the.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was in the middle. It was just, it was absolutely uncontrolled. Like she was absolutely freaking out. And as she's freaking out, it's just like it starts seeping kind of from her eyes and starts like crawling down. And then it just sparks start shooting up. And then it's eruption. And almost like a snake of fire, it just like shoots from her and just strikes straight at the book.
Okay. The book immediately goes up in flames, and as the flames lick the pages and cause them to like shrivel and burn, the smoke from the burning paper begins roiling above the burning mass. The smoke, it shifts and starts to like congeal above the burning book, and slowly before your eyes, a vaguely humanoid form made of wispy dark smoke is present above the now ashes of the book. You see that this like misty black incorporeal thing is like looming in the middle of your bookstore, and it looks at you, Sybil, and it extends a smoky clawed hand and begins drifting towards you. Please roll for initiative.
Can I just do something beforehand?
Depends. What do you want to do?
Remove curse.
On what?
The spirit thing.
It does not do anything.
Darn.
So for roleplay purposes, Sybil is absolutely still in fetal position. Like she is mid freak out, like absolute like unaware. I am going to take bottom initiative.
Okay.
$17.
Ooh, awesome. So all three of you get to go before this wraith-like creature. Bastion gets to go first.
Okay, let's see. Bastion, not entirely sure. What to do is... Oh, that's good. He's going to see the creature reaching out towards Elle and seeing her in the fetal position. He is going to run over and he's going to grab her and attempt to like pull her back like at least 5 feet while also casting mage armor on her because it is a touch spell.
Sounds awesome.
Alrighty.
Roll her out the door.
You have the armor of mages protecting you, Sybil.
Awesome. So I have a DC 13 now.
Okay, that brings us to Jerry.
Lacy.
Jerry's gonna pull out faint sword and jump in and make 2 quick slashes, and then disengage and go to the door to actually block the door. Keep this thing from leaving.
Alright, wonderful.
I don't think that thing's leaving.
Alright, the first attack, whoosh, faint, gleaming sword, slashes through this smoky figure. You appear to have caused it some kind of harm. The second one, however, the smoke just sort of like discorporates around your sword and then like reforms on the second strike.
So damage.
Yeah, for the first attack.
There we go. 6 damage. Oops, I did it twice. So 6 damage.
It's okay. 6 damage. Wonderful.
And I'm now in the doorway.
Yes. Hey, it is then Rakna's turn.
I'm going to go move between it and Sybil, and then I'm going to use Sacred Flame.
Great. So it has to make a dexterity shaving throw. I should roll in my dice box. That'd be helpful. Throwing my dice all around here. It fails.
15 radiant damage, and I am between Sybil and it.
Ooh, lovely. Indeed, so you call upon the radiance. This bright flash emanates briefly, sort of blinding everybody in the room, and this smoky specter recoils and lets out a scream of, you assume, pain. Alright, there we go. Alright, it is now its turn. It shall move towards you, Rakna. But then it will move through you. Just the smoke.
Do I get an attack or no?
You will get an attack of opportunity as it leaves your threatened area behind you, and it floats towards Sybil.
14 versus AC.
Sure hits.
6 damage.
6
and
damage.
it deals an extra 1d4 lightning damage.
Awesome. Let's see that. Indeed, this is the first time you've seen his hammer at work, right?
I think so. I think it's the first time we fought since then.
I think so. So, indeed, you see Rakna's new gleaming hammer crackle with the very power of the storms itself. And it seems to wound this smoky creature, but it closes in on you, Sybil, and it like whispers in your mind, "Foolish girl, foolish girl," and it will make a attack against you. Just for posterity, I will roll it in the chat, just so none can decry
I was about to say, for the wisdom saving throw, I'm
any
boned.
falsehood. No, it stretches out its ghostly hand toward your heart. Oh, and it just misses.
Yeah, it misses by 1.
Yeah, thanks to the mage armor. Okay, indeed. So it finds itself just like barely repelled by the armor Bastion has given you. It is then your turn, Sybil.
So as a bonus action, seeing this thing come towards her, I assume it's like she kind of like, with Bastion kind of tugging on her and being like, "Get your head in the game," she kind of like looks up and starts scooting backwards on like crab walking, almost like pushing herself backwards. And as a bonus action, I'm going to she's going to like hit the ground with one of her hands as she's scooting backwards, and her ring's going to glow. And I'm going to use a Misty Step, one of the spells stored in the ring, as a bonus action. And I'm going to move on the other side of the room and just kind of press myself against the wall, press against the wall, and just, oh my god, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. And like almost like instinctual. She's going to level her hand at it, and I think again, just with an Eldritch Blast, she's kind of locked up and she's not super in the game, as it were. So I think Eldritch Blast. And my rolls reflect that. I assume, hello?
Oh, sorry. Yes, the 11 does indeed miss.
Yeah.
No, it doesn't have the crown.
Okay, because that could be important.
And as a free action, she's just gonna yell, "Who are you? What do you want?"
And it whispers back in a cackling laugh, and it says, "The specter of your curiosity, girl."
If she wasn't freaking out, she'd have a witty comeback.
Brings us back to the top of the roundo with the old Bastion.
Okie dokie. So let's see. Bastion was behind L. I'm trying to piece together some distances here. So let's see. If the Spectre went through Rachna, and he got an attack of opportunity, then attacked L, then L ran behind Bastion. That means that I easily have 10 feet between Rachna and the Spectre, and then 10 feet between.
Thunderwave.
Do what?
Thinking about casting some Thunderwave here.
Thunderwave, or yeah, probably Thunderwave, because I'm worried Shatter will just destroy these books.
Yeah, that's kind of what Shatter does, right?
Yeah.
Like, explode object.
Oh god, the windows are gonna break though.
I only have concussive force spells. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and back up some and cast some Thunderwave, trying to push the Spectre back towards Rachna to see if he can't, grab some more of it.
Alright, beautiful.
And we are gonna cast it at 2nd level.
Oof, okay. So it fails the DC, and it takes 6 points of damage. You find it...
I am actually going to empower this.
Okay.
Let's see. So I get... I can actually reroll all of these, and I'm going to do so.
Yeah, I was about to say, our damage rolls are not doing great tonight.
Yeah, so I'm going to roll 3d8.
I wasn't that bad.
I did 6
No,
damage.
yeah.
That's great.
Much better.
Ooh.
Okay.
So the thunder cracks out, but you find that unlike a physical person, the ghostly entity is not as affected by the sound of the thunder as a more physical being.
What about the lightning and the thunder? Thunder?
Thundercats?
The lightning from Rachna's hammer was not as effective either. So 15 damage reduced to 7, for it has resistance.
Alrighty.
Dead things. Dead things are meant to stay dead.
Alright, Bastion's turn is Jerry's turn.
And Bastion, just for positioning's sake, Bastion is between the Spectre and L.
Beautiful.
Jerry's going to do a flyby. Basically, he's gonna go and leap through the air and do 2 quick slashes as he leaps by, and then he's going to use his bonus action to try and hide. So
Cool.
I will do that thing where I double click the words, and ooh, I can do this. Bam.
Ooh, the first one definitely hits. The second one, again, it sort of discorporates around your sword.
And 11 damage. And then, is he in melee combat with Rachna?
Sure. Yeah, he's close enough.
So I'll grab some sneak attack damage in there too.
Excellent. Extra 15. Faint sword seems to cut through this thing like butter.
Nice.
Okay. This cut whoosh goes through the creature and it gives a high-pitched scream. You can see trails of smoke starting to sort of like bleed off it, but still it pursues with an unholy vigor. Make that stealth check. Ooh, cool. So like, where do you hide in this bookstore?
I would just imagine there's like just sort of different shelving units. So he would finish his like leap and go over a counter, and then he'd just sort of like tumble behind a shelf of books.
Awesome. Okay, then it is Rachna's turn once again.
Okay, Rotna is going to raise his hammer and turn undead.
Okay, excellent. Wisdom saving throw. Okay. Fails saving throw. Turn for 1 minute until it takes damage. Starts to move as far away from you as it can. Okay. Actions. Okay, awesome. So it will make its a saving throw. So talk to me a bit about how Rachna turns undead.
My thought is basically just a thunderous boom appears out of nowhere and seems to carry holy power within it that terrifies all undead that are near him.
Dope. So what's the DC? What's
I
yours?
believe it's the same DC as my other thing, so DC 14, I believe.
All right, here we go. It succeeds. Indeed, you speak the words of banishment from Clangeddon, but this creature seems to resist. It hisses back and says, "Your gods have no power over me." It is then its turn, and it will.
Oh god, it's
move towards Sybil once again.
yep, and it's an
And
open.
auto attack,
Sorry, guys.
main reaction attack.
Yeah, so I think both Bastion and Rachna get opportunity attacks against it. This hits Rachna with your dope warhammer.
Ooh, 11.
Nice.
And 1 lightning damage.
Okay. It can't take less than 1, so still takes 1. Does Bastion want to make an oppie at all?
Bastion doesn't really have anything that can make an opportunity attack.
Punch it.
So I'm gonna if you will allow it, I think he's going to unsling his longbow and swing it at him.
Sure, yeah. Make an attack with disadvantage.
Sure.
Hit him with the stick.
A strength
Improvised
attack, I'm
weapon.
assuming, or dex.
Yeah. Well, it can be dexterity. It's fine.
Okay, cool.
So it just misses.
Okay.
Okay, the creature will move up to Sybil, and it whispers into your mind. It says, "Your mind is keen, young one. You will serve me in death." And it'll reach for your very heart once again. Its cold yellow eyes piercing into yours. Oof, and that is certainly a hit.
Damn.
No.
Her friendship protects me. So, Sybil, you feel a great coldness descend, like shoot out through your body from where its smoky hand touches you. You take 17 points of necrotic damage.
Jeez.
Ouch!
And also, you need to make a Constitution saving throw.
Hey, fun fact. That's over half of my hit points. No, it's very, very lowly under half of my hit points.
Okay. You did Constitution save. Oof, that damage that you took, Sybil, is also done to your maximum hit points.
Oh no.
Indeed, so your max is also reduced by 17 until further notice. Okay, so that is its turn. We go to Sybil now.
So, at the mention, like, of her mind, as she gets hit with it, or essentially gets Kalimad, for lack of a better term, she just kind of goes pale, and her glasses fall off, and her eyes flare up, like full on, like, whereas they're usually sparks that just kind of drift off the corners. They're almost like the same monochrome fire from earlier, kind of flares up around her eyes, the corner of her eyes, and you just hear her mutter, "You won't take my mind from me." And she's going to bare her eyes at it, and she's going to cast Mind Spike at it.
Ooh, okay.
I don't know why it made me roll a Constitution save. It's a DC 15 Wisdom save. I'm sorry.
Shaving throw. Roll in chat against everything up. Ooh, it super fails.
Takes 21 psychic damage.
Ooh, it is not resistant to psychic damage, so it takes the full 21. It reels back. You hear, for a moment, you hear like the high-pitched scream that it has been giving when it gets hurt, but you also hear like a second voice in tandem, much lower, scream out.
And seeing it do that, you guys watch her pen kind of like flips her pen out of her sleeve, and as she does it, she kind of clicks it or clicks like a button on the side, and it flashes black, and essentially about a 3-foot rod made of solid black onyx with like the inkwell pens, the tips of them, how they're like that sharp looking thing.
Yeah.
It's a tip, but it's a bigger version of that, and it's all like this ornately like copper and black rod, and it's got white feathers kind of hanging off the end of it, and she's going to hold it up, and I'm going to use the Rod of the Pack Keeper to gain back a spell slot as a bonus action. I think that's a bonus action. Let me check. In addition, you can regain one warlock spell as... Oh, no, it's an action. I'm sorry. So, bonus action is her just getting her rod out, I guess.
Nice. Okay, it is Sybil's turn. Back to Bastion.
Alright, so get this. As Bastion sees the specter pierce through the magic shield and touch her heart, is there just like a visible like withering of her body?
Oh yes, dear God, yes. She grows like gaunt and sickly.
Bastion is going to like reach out to her, see her like cast the spell as he's saying, "I'm not losing someone today," and he's going to grab her. And from where we're standing at the like in the like corner of the shop, can I see out the window?
Yep.
Perfect. I'm gonna cast Thunderstep.
Oh, cool.
And I'll cast it at third level. Third level? Yeah.
Can I perhaps fight the grab? Perhaps she's not like she's kind of
Yeah, it says one willing creature, so if you're not willing to come with me, then
I mean it could be a strength check, honestly. She's not great at it. And also it'd probably be a disadvantage right now, anyways.
okay.
So
Oh damn. Okay.
not grabbing anything. Or I'm not stopping anything. So
Okey-dokey. So, Bastion grabs you, and there is an enormous crack boom. And doop doop. He takes, let's see, Constitution half damage. Yep. Constitution half damage, and then, after the enormous like sound, Sybil and I have both disappeared and are now standing out in the square, outside of her shop.
And there is a crowd gathered out there now, gasping and pointing into the window, which is now broken again.
I should also point out, like, as Bastion grabs her, she's like tries to shrug him off, and then I imagine at the moment she like tries to shrug him off, he can almost feel how like she was never like she's a very live person, anyways,
Right.
but she's like she was very much standing tall against this thing, but as soon as he grabs her, you can almost feel like every inch of her bone in her shoulder. So whenever we appear back out, her eyes have not left that thing, and they're just flared.
I imagine like feeling the frailness made him only like grab on tighter, insistent to pull you out so you don't just instantly die. The spell's range is up to 90 feet, so I'd probably say we're a good distance out.
She's staring in the general direction, like she knows where the direction is, for that matter.
Yeah.
Okay, that was a good turn, Bastion. Jerry, you are hidden and still in the bookshop.
So Jerry's going to rinse and repeat. Basically, he's going to make another sort of flying pass and do a couple dices on his way by. Yes,
Ooh, great.
So he is going to dash out and do another two slices, and I think I get sneak attack damage since I was hidden.
Yep.
Ooh, and max sneak attack too.
Good rolls.
Wonderful. Nice 25 points of damage. If you would like to describe to me how you defeat the creature.
And so Jerry is tumbling through the air, and you just sort of see like this gleaming sword just sort of slice through this creature's head and its torso. And I just imagine it just sort of like with like a freakish scream sort of dissipates into the night.
Yeah, and you hear that high-pitched scream, but also that like lower, more human-sounding scream. And if I may, just for a brief moment, take the camera somewhere else. We see in a very darkly lit room a skeletal figure, cloaked, muttering in a dark incantation over a book, and it seems to be concentrating on something, but it reels back and screams and takes its skeletal hand and throws the book across the room in anger. Camera then goes back to our group.
So the moment it dies, I assume Bastion's about to check on Sybil. Her eyes immediately, in tandem, as soon as it dies, the flared up eyes just kind of die down, and she turns she's about to turn around to say something to Bastion, and she just collapses. So it's a moment. It's thank you, and as she's turning around, you see one of her eyes is just silver, her the iris is just silver, while the other is still the same violet that her normal eyes are, and she just right as she says thank, she passes out.
Bastion is not strong, so instead of catching her, he's going to do that thing where he guides her down to the ground and he's holding her in a sitting position. And he will use, I believe prestidigitation can send up minor sparks and stuff. Yeah. So he'll send up a shot of sparks up from the crowd so that Jerry and Rachna can see where they're at.
Yeah, and Jerry's gonna point to the door and say, "After you."
I'm gonna go over to them.
Bastion is kind of looking frantically, keeping an eye on Elle, looking frantically, keeping an eye on Elle, and as soon as he sees Rachna break through the crowd, he's gonna be she just collapsed. We need to get her somewhere safe.
He's gonna nod. Just, yep. We should head back to the inn.
I'm gonna try and as we're going to the end, I'm gonna try and see if we're being followed at all.
Hey, Rachna's Cure Wounds wouldn't do anything to me, right?
It doesn't, because you're technically at maximum hit points.
I did not mean to press it. Sorry.
Oh, okay.
It was
I
more
have
dramatic.
I have it set on here, and I accidentally clicked it.
Oh, okay.
I was gonna
No,
ask,
that's
can
more.
I make a medicine or history or religion check to identify what's wrong?
Either of those will give you different, but perhaps still relevant answers.
Medicine.
Oh, yeah. So we'll get to your perception check in a sec, Jerry. But the Rachna, you definitely feel as though, I mean, perhaps it's quite obvious, but Sybil has had her very life essence drained. Life in the church has taught you that some very nasty, dark creatures can do this, and one's life force will usually return after a solid time of rest.
Okay, so I'm just gonna say, and she'll be fine. She just needs to rest.
21 hit points is low even for a wizard at level 6. That's our level 7.
Yeah.
That is.
Oh,
Ugh.
yeah.
Yeah,
21.
that's one shot though.
Yeah, I think we're done for this day in game.
Well, we have
We have a masquerade ball to go to.
Yeah, we got shit to do.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Which we will.
Oh, good God. Oh, no. An 8-hour long
Yes.
is a. No, 8-hour. Hold on, actually. Are half elves, do they have 4-hour long rests?
I don't think the half elves get the trance.
No, they do not.
Could be wrong, but yeah.
Oh, no. So, yeah, that's an 8-hour long. So, if I do this, I'd have to go in with 21 hit points.
Jerry, you definitely do see people following you, but it's more commoners who are just really interested in what just happened. Many of whom are drunk, and sort of following you through through the streets. Some of them call out, "Oh, that was some good show there. How'd you do that with the smoky thing? That was great."
Jerry will just call out, nothing to see here, folks. Just all part of the show. Go home, enjoy the revelries.
That seems to, get them off your case easily enough.
Oh God. Does it though?
Alright, so I think now might be a good time to end. Just coming up on midnight here.
Yeah.
Sounds good to
Before
me.
we go, does his persuasion actually convince anyone?
Oh, I see. He rolled persuasion. So there would definitely be a group of people who are like really insistent on following you. They seem like just like really enthralled with what happened. And they're like, "Oh, I've never seen magicians that amazing. Like, you must be performing somewhere again, right?"
Who's carrying Sybil, by the way?
Not it. With my gentleman's 9 strength.
Probably Rachna. He is going to turn and look at them, use thaumaturgy, and make his voice really freaking loud and yell, "Be gone!"
They
Thought.
scram. They scram quickly.
Oh, we don't.
They super scram like very quickly. No one left.
Rockna's fully armored, right?
Oh yes.
Yep.
I think that's the first time you allowed Rachna to fully do his intimidation check
I mean,
successfully.
Just from under her, just for closing purposes, you just hear her mutter under her breath, "What do baddies have against books?" Oh, jeez. Always with the bookstores.
Just before we close up shop for today, what are you going? Are you going to recoup somewhere? Like, what little scene do we end on?
I believe we are going to the Windblown Wanderer where we started this thing.
Yep. Basically just getting her to bed so she can rest.
And then getting ready to get back to Al in time for the tickets.
Yep.
So indeed,
If
next
we're
time-
lucky, it won't be immediate, so she'll actually have time to rest.
Yeah, I think that because noble parties, they always start late and go later, so like you might actually have 8 hours worth of time to rest up.
Mhm.
I mean, you guys know I'm game to go in with 21 hit points. I love playing at a handicap.
Yeah, we'll see. Cool. Next time we will do a little bit of schmoozing at Lord Krenel's fancy midsummer festival party.
Yes, we shall schmooze.
This is not a situation Rachna and Jerry, I think, feel very comfortable with.
I feel like this
I can probably yell at them really loudly, and they'll probably tell me things.
I feel like this is definitely going to be the Bastion and an L show for the party part.
Yep.
The high charisma characters? No.
Then whenever it inevitably comes to blows because Rachna just doesn't move for somebody. Then
Oh wow, I actually have 17 charisma.
Oh my god.
Yeah,
Ka-based characters.
he is pretty intimidating. Like, I'm personally most interested to see what happens when you stick Carmen de la Huerta and Jerry in the same room. I think that's gonna be fun.
That'll be exciting.
Oh yeah.
Also,
There's like
shall I roll for
awkward
bagpipes?
pretense between them. Bagpipes, yes.
It's like ex-lovers, except if your ex-lover killed your
14.
mother.
That's like pretty decent. Like
2
level
damage.
Rachna's? Oh, that was an attack roll, not a skill check.
You
Yes.
you took the time to put an attack roll beside the bagpipe.
Yes, I did.
Yeah, everyone
no.
takes 2 thunder damage from the bagpipes.
Nobody grabbed L's. Oh god. Okay, that's cool. Yeah.
Nobody grabbed L's.
Glasses.
Oh,
Oh no.
No, they're still in a shop.
I mean, I think realistically, right, they would come flying behind you by
Nope.
some invisible force.
I don't actually think they would, because I had to specifically say it last time.
Ah, okay.
Well, should we roll for Bartholomew's mood?
Nope. I like it better the
Okay.
fact that she doesn't have them right now. It's gonna make more questions happen.
All right.
Cool.
Okay.
Well, excited for that then.
Yep, because here's a hint. I evaded most of those questions.
Yep.
No.
That and I screwed up so many rolls to interrogation.
So we are starting next session in the exact same place we started this session.
Yep.
In the inn questioning Sybil.
Now, to be fair, she's going to be in a very vulnerable position.
Yep.
so Sybil wakes up tied and gagged.
Oh my god.
and the
It's
PC
gonna be
on
really
PC
hard to
Live.
answer questions if you're. We know what Jerry's into.
Yep. Too much information. Like
Uh,
most of the things in this session.
When you spend years alone cloistered in a monastery, anything can happen.
Get to like some weird shit. That's hilarious.
Suppression breeds
Okay.
perversion.
Oh man, this was fun, guys.
This was very fun.
Yeah,
Fun.
definitely.
Lots,
We had
lots of roleplay.
we hit all the beats today. We had good roleplay. We had weird perverted dude, and then we had battle with the wraith, and
Perfect.
ominous camera movement.
I'm so
Uh,
glad
yeah.
I got to
So
play.
I knew it was Vermin Kane anyways because it's his book.
Yeah, I figured that wasn't a huge secret I had to keep,
Yeah.
so.
Oh, I didn't think of that.
Although that is
Somebody
totally
else.
Oops.
that is totally something I have in my notes to bring up in character next session.
What?
Also,
Like-
I have set the bagpipes to always do 2 damage.
Perfect.
I'll just do a little bit extra thunder damage. Just enough to be annoying.
What were you planning to bring up though?
Oh, to ask the other characters, it's like, do you think that was like Vermin Kane's book? Do you think that was Vermin Kane? That kind of stuff.
My answer would be yes.
Well, it also wouldn't. Well, I guess it would because Elle wasn't present for the meeting down below.
Right.
So to him, I was literally just some girl messing with his book. Huh.
I'm really glad that I got to play up some of the like passive allergy stuff because like I'm allergic to grass and like it's a massive grass sex orgy where I'm living right now. So
Oh no.
that's my life right now.
I wasn't sure if you were playing that you had allergies or you actually had really bad allergies. I could not tell for the life of me. I was gonna ask you about it, like, hey man, are you okay?
Little column A, little column B.
That freaking man, the carriage. I don't know why I couldn't say carriage for some reason. That carriage was something I was like, I'm just going to throw this at Aaron and see if it's all right. He's like, yeah, but pay literally all of your money if you want this. And I was like, okay.
Yeah, seems fair.
And then my first session, I get 500 gold again. So I was like, huh, it all worked out.
Yeah, Bastion still has no concept of money. No one's like openly corrects him. It's like, you're paying way too much. And I'm like, what?
That's a calling card of this party. We tip well.
Yeah, money is like not a real thing to this party.
Money? Oh, you mean stuff that we use to get water?
Basically.
I'm glad you guys have money because otherwise Jerry would have to worry about how to get food each day.
So
Actually, Ragnar hasn't paid anything.
I think 2 people have given Bastion their entire sums of like financial reward, and so he's just completely loaded and has no idea what to do with all of this money. He's never had money before in his life, like personally.
Right, because like both Faint and Jerry were like, no, I don't take money for like different reasons.
Right.
It's like, I don't need your rich person money. I don't need this. This is gross. Here, Bastion, have this. And then Jerry's like, I don't like money. Here, Bastion, have this.
I've been vomiting currency everywhere, and I'm still over 2.2k.
Oh my
Way.
God.
I didn't know it was that much.
Yeah, I have so much money.
We need to deposit it at a bank or something.
I still have 50 platinum.
Oh
That's
my
pretty
God.
good too. Yeah, it's like everywhere Bastion goes, like these big sacks hanging from his belt. Like, ching.
That's
Well,
where his thunder
He
power.
definitely looks like a rich kid.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
Oh, God.
hilarious. So this
This
Vermin
is-
Kane and De La Guerta, I'm convinced that they're connected and that like De La Guerta somehow is like an agent of Vermin Kane or so, like there's too many coincidental things that like I think like us getting to De La Guerta is gonna get us one step closer to Vermin Kane somehow. That's my theory.
Yep.
Yeah,
And we
it's-
already know where he is.
yeah, well, not only that, it's like we have all these like thing. The Jungle of Ix is our only tying like, or is our only like interconnecting twine here. But there's all this other stuff that has seemingly has absolutely nothing to do with anything. Because you're like, well, what does the thieves guilds in the city have to do with this like this dark cult that's going on? And then like this book that we have now is just this weird third twine that we don't know where it fits in exactly. Because
But it was from Esperanza's gang's hideout, which was in turn they're allied with De La Guerta. Or
yeah,
they're-
no, well, yeah, and on top of that, Vermin Kane was there with them.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, just there taunted us.
Okay. We have absolutely no idea what's going on and so many threats to pull on.
I know. Aaron, I have a question for you.
Yes.
Did you always intend for that book to be like that, or was that a spur of the moment thing?
A good magician never reveals their secrets, my friend.
Ah,
So,
geez.
spur of the moment.
It doesn't matter because it was so good, and it was one of those things. It's like I'm gonna go get that other book, and I'm going to share the annotations with them, and then it turned into that. That's awesome. It's awesome.
So, my idea of burning the city and just leaving. Anyone else okay with this?
Well, I mean, the last thing we burned attacked us.
It's
Oh
like,
yeah, I
you
never
asked
doubt
that
that the
question-
city would attack us, but still, we can run.
It's
See,
just
it's
funny because
secret-
you asked that question and we're all like, no, every single time.
See, if you look at the city picture enough, it literally just looks like a dinosaur, so it's actually a Teresk, and we just don't know it.
Math
Yep,
checks
it's
out.
just a Tarrasque.
Yep.
Oh my god,
Just
I've been
under
saying
the city.
Terrasquay my whole life. Is it Teresk?
Yeah, it's Tarask.
Yep,
What-
it's
how
Tarask.
did you say it? How did you say it?
Terrasquay?
Terrasquay.
Oh, this is
No,
like
we're not on the
Bagel or
terrace.
Bagel. The Terrasquay? Wait.
The
Teresk?
horrible
Tarask.
Terrasquay.
It sounds
Yeah,
like
it's
Tourette's.
Tarask. Well, because it's French. It comes from an old French legend.
Oh.
Yeah.
So it's Tarask.
Oh my god, I made a joke, but the city literally looks like a dinosaur.
How,
like-
how do you
Yes,
see
in case
that?
we need it.
This is the head, snout, and this is the back. Its back, like the castle's its back.
I guess I don't really see it, to be honest, but I'll take your word for it.
Well, when you look at it and see, like, this is like its front shoulder, this is its back haunch.
Yeah, it's like its only top part is visible. So like if it's like halfway embedded in the ground, it could absolutely be that.
Okay,
If you've
vaguely
seen
see it, yeah.
if you've seen Moana, it looks like Tafiti is a dinosaur, is a city.
Yes. Yes.
And,
yes.
Tafiti.
Valdore in ancient Elven stands for dinosaur. I don't know if you knew that. Aaron.
So, all for burning the city and fleeing?
No, because then it'll wake up.
Well, you're not gonna. This isn't a 12 Angry Men situation. Sure, we're not gonna agree to this.
Oh god.
No matter how much
I
you
will
beat us
keep
down about
pushing for it, and eventually, when things get fucked up enough, you will agree.
it. I admire your efforts.
But
I
the
know.
problem is all the water running through it. So we need to get rid of that first.
Well, if you burn stuff hot enough, it evaporates.
Yes.
And if you burn it hot enough, fast enough, then it turns into a steam explosion. All I'm hearing is more damage.
Oh god.
Yes.
When do we get labeled terrorists?
How are we not
haven't
already
already?
labeled terrorists?
We're on a list. That's fine.
Yeah,
I prefer the
I-
term vigilantes.
Freedom
One
fighter.
actually is on the list.
Oh god.
That's not entirely wrong.
I have one last question. It's for the party as a whole, though.
Oh, hit me, kiddo.
Yes.
Have you guys figured out what kind of pact she's made yet?
I'm fairly sure it's the Pact of the Tome. Unless you mean like,
That's what I meant. But is it the Pact of the Tome?
fairly sure. Because I don't think it's the Pact of the Chain. And it's definitely not the Pact of the Blade.
That'd be cool if my pen was a blade.
That would be sick.
I almost did that, and then Why, Aaron? Why? It's not the Pact of the Anime Girl.
God. However, yeah, I know. It's the Pact of the Old Ones.
Oh, you're talking about my actual patron.
Yeah. Patron Old Ones.
Maybe. Maybe not.
Possible.
There's
I
a
can tell
lot.
because of the way you said, my mind is my own. That kind of thing.
Perhaps. Perhaps not. You'll never know.
So
Well,
in other words, yes.
No. You don't know.
Uh-huh.
Haha. That's honestly, I just like when because I think I've said this already, but one of my why is this going? So, yeah, one of my biggest things with Faint was like, I hate that I ditched my whole backstory in like the second episode. So I was like, I'm just gonna stretch this out. I'm just gonna keep hanging it on there.
Yeah. Sybil is Monica secretly.
Well, then the problem is that who would get erased and who is the main character.
Oh.
I'm ruining everything. I'm sorry. I actually I don't know what I'm doing.
Well, good sesh, guys. As always, I appreciate your commitment and your role-playing goodness.
Oh, guys, it was so much fun. I have so much fun playing this character. It's so much nicer than having to do a stupid Khajiit accent and being stoic. I just get to be all over the place.
It was so much fun.
Yeah.
So, when are we going to get together next?
Hopefully not
I'm good for
in
next Sunday.
5 weeks' time or whatever it is.
Yeah.
I am good for next Sunday.
When next the moons align.
Let me check. Actually, I'm going to stop streaming real quick. That way we can discuss our scheduling times. I will catch you guys later. Thanks for
Bye,
tuning in.
Stram.
No
Be
behind,
gone, stream.
Have a good
no
night,
behind the
guys.
scenes for you.